This better not be what the issue is. Let me know if I'm coming in now. Can you hear me?
Can you guys, are you hearing the bone broth coming in? It might take a little bit here because there is a bit of a delay. I just added myself to the stream, so,
My word. Beggars can't be choosers. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm coming in. Okay, so learning the ropes. There's this new platform that, YouTube just decided to like pull the rug out from underneath this sort of thing and say, we're going to take away the Google Hangouts. So we'll replace it, but maybe next year or something like that. So I don't know what they're doing. I mean, it seems like they want us all to go to BitChute, just in case you're wondering. It seems like that's where they want to send all the bad apples. Put us all together over there in a pile with Dick's Rectum Jammer 666 and co. But yeah, thanks to Steemit. I mean Steemit to BitChute, though. At least they have not censored me. And just in case you're wondering, I know that somebody asked in the comments there. I think it was answered, but why I don't have any stuff up on Jeff C or Jeff Censored is because I got censored again, and it can happen really quickly. You get a strike, and then next thing you know, your channel was terminated. So the only thing you can really do is just when you get the strike, just take down all the videos, and then hopefully after the 3-month period, it clears, and then you can go again. So for the time being, I'm going to be over here on Supreme Lord Commander probably for the next few months, unless this channel gets shut down or gets hit. And actually, I'm not even on. What am I talking about? I'm talking like I'm on Supreme Lord Commander. I'm on Jeff C Live. I'm got to remember all the different channels I have and had and lost. But yeah, the reality is that I think it's a matter of time before it's all done over here on YouTube. So we got to try to you got to roll with the punches, but we also have to try to find other avenues for doing this type of work, because it's clear that YouTube doesn't want thinking people on their platform. I mean, there's no way they want thinkers. I mean, that's the last thing they want. They want mind-controlled morons. They want you to be confused about everything. And they want you to embrace that confusion, and embrace your depression, identify with it, identify with your perverted sexuality, identify with your depression and everything else. And you're the greatest thing ever. You are, absolutely. Even though you're 500 pounds, you're the greatest thing ever. You're the best thing in the world. And you is you, and you first. And, anyways, YouTube is a cesspool of narcissism, degeneracy, and social programming to the Agenda 21, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about it, which is that there's quite an issue going on with our food. And one of the latest things that you'll see popping up everywhere is eating bugs. Yeah. Are you getting hungry? I got some fresh cockroaches. Yeah, they're in a bowl, and I can heat them up, stick them in the oven. Maybe put some of that barbecue sauce they get all the celebrities to eat on YouTube, and that's all part of it too. Like the way it's all coming about, the impossible burgers, the impossible meats, the fake eggs, the fake everything that's being pushed. The Soylent Green, which is a reality. Which is like, you really have to pinch yourself, when it's like Soylent Green. No, it actually exists. You're like, yeah, whatever. No, it actually exists. You can actually buy it. And you'd be like, well, okay, there's a product called Soylent, but, surely there isn't. Yes, there is. There's a green. There's a Soylent Green. And guess what? It's a meal supplement. And guess what? It causes all kinds of problems. I mean, it's been linked to reproductive issues, like serious reproductive issues, cancer and other things, digestional liver problems. And guess what? Yeah, it's a meal supplement. And hey, I mean, we're gonna honestly, we'll all be of this sort of group, if we live long enough, to be able to tell the people, the younger people of the future, yeah, I remember when we used to eat real things. Like I remember when we used to eat meat. We used to eat burgers, and we used to eat like steaks and chicken and stuff like that. And it's all gonna be changed. In fact, the likely date for most of this seems to be 2030. I'll show this in a second when we get into the whole screen sharing thing here, is that they really are amping this up. So what you're seeing right now, just imagine what you see with the LGBTQSWXYZ, how every single day of the year, every single minute, every single second of the hour is something for some pride. Always. It's always in your face. There's always a pride parade going on. There's always a festival. There's always this being pushed. Well, picture that with the food, and that's what you're going to get, because it's just going to be everywhere. And I'm going to show you how even fast food joints are going to be doing this. So it's not long. You think they'll just stop at the impossible. Sure, okay, the possible, or okay, they brought in they brought in the fake burgers. Now they brought in the fake eggs. Surely they won't go any further. No, they're going to go further. They're going to have bugs in your burgers real soon. Real soon. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, it's totally coming. I saw a hilarious video today. I'm going to see if I can find it and make me crack up so much. Somebody is very creative. I mean, there's lots of creative people out there. It's just you'll never see them on the cesspool that is YouTube. You'll just see the hideous New World Order narcissist and their degenerative sort of conditioning. But there are very creative people out there that are aware of these agendas and what they're trying to do to people. So, hey, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to say hello to everyone. Hey, everybody out there watching. Hope you're all doing well. Nice to see. Let's see here. Jason, Anthony, Lori, Man Bear Pig. Yeah, I gotta love that. I think of Man Bear Pig. I think of Jasmine from Butt Feed. I don't know why. Maybe because she's a Man Bear Pig. Drumstick. Eric. Ivy there. Hey, Venonymous is there. Nice to see you. Wake, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're not eating the bugs yet. The bugs. We're going to show you how the CBC put out videos on CBC Kids, trying to get kids to eat ants. Like, eat some ants. It's going to be really good for you. It won't be long before it'll just be in your kids' cafeteria. I mean, you're not, what, your kids? Your kids? What are you saying? You don't own kids. They're not yours. They don't belong to you. They belong to the community. Get the frig out of town. They're not your kids. That's the way it's going to be. Like, by year 2030, people will not be able to say my kids. They'll say things like our kids. This is the rhetoric that's being pushed everywhere too. Our kids, our communities, our this, our that. The kids belong to everyone. No, they belong to the NWO from birth, pretty much. So, but yeah, it's pretty nuts, man. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna take a look at this. It's not too appetizing. I don't know. I mean, I'm not against the concept of eating bugs. I always think that I've seen, the movie Papillon and stuff like that. If you were stuck in some prison in French Guyana and you couldn't even get that half a slice of coconut a day, and you just got some, I don't know, some broth with some vomit in it or something, you might want to throw some beetles in there if you could catch them, just for the protein. But other than that, it's just the same with the cannibalism, because they're pushing the cannibalism, and they are serious about this. This is not a joke, right? We've talked a lot about the cannibalism on our shows and in my videos, and how they have normalized that. I mean, everything's being normalized. Pedophilia is being normalized, right? Degeneracy, love, love is love. Love has no age. All these different things. Now the fake meats are taking over. All the celebrities are being used to push the products, but they've been faking our food for quite some time. This is nothing new, too, really, when you think about it. If you look back, there are segments that I've seen from the CBC in the 1970s saying that they were producing fake meats and stuff like that. So it's something that they've been working on for a very long time. The bug diet is being coded in a lot of movies. Of course, probably a lot of you are familiar with the film Snowpiercer, which is a real heavy New World Order film. People make the mistake of thinking the film is like woke or trying to woke you. Woke. Isn't it hilarious how they've hijacked all these terms? Truth. It's like, no, we're going to take that term from you. You're going to take that term. We're going to take it. We're going to turn it upside down. Right now, truth equals something completely different. Now, truth equals CNN, the truest name in news or whatever. Right. Anyways, they've been doing all this. So they've been programming us for quite some time into trying this sort of. There's even videos of Alex Jones eating bugs, like where he's getting pizza and stuff, and he's
It's got these bugs on it. This is what the globalists want you.
Well, he is right about that. They do want you to eat bugs, for sure. And I'm not here to say that people in certain parts of the world that, say Africa and places like that where eating bugs is more common, but I mean, it's part of the culture. It's a different world. It's a different world. Right? Indians, they don't eat the cows, so that's their world, right? And they eat all kinds of other things. We eat the cows, right? But we're bad now. Cows are bad. Everything's bad. So now we got to eat the bugs. So this is not at all a part of any of our culture, really. I mean, they've been using bugs in a lot of products, and this is one of the things that they're going to try to sell to you. In fact, I have to recall here while I'm doing this, I'm going to open up another link here to find that video with Adam Conover, Adam Conjob, bugs. You had a bug. Yeah, we should all eat bugs. I hope for, I really want to play this stuff, but I also don't want to lose this channel. So I don't want to take it for granted that I got this extra channel. So I probably won't be able to play this stuff. I know it's different strokes for different folks. A lot of people are able to do these things, not me. It's just the way it works. So, but I've got that one prepped as well here. And we're going to share the screen here. So we'll give you something better to look at than my logo here. Hang on a second here. How do we do this again? When there is a will, there is a way. Share screen, private chat, banners, comments. Oh, yeah, here it is. I think that's it. All right. Share screen to see how this layout is unique. Okay. Close. I don't know how to do it. Oh, there it is. I just found it. Hang in there. We'll get the hang of it. Apparently, the duck yard here is gonna start charging people, and they're pretty serious about. So they're gonna put limits on these shows to entice you to buy in. And I looked at their prices, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Start screen share, select the window, and yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll bring that one up. Allow. There we go. All right, so let me just see how that's coming in. Oh, okay, it's coming in with my logo. Maybe I need to make it bigger. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're figuring it out. Okay, so are you getting hungry? Are you getting hungry? How does this look? Crunchy, tasty, buggy. We are being massively conditioned into this. Now, this is a recent video here off of, guess what? It's called True TV. What did I tell you? True TV. Guys, it sounds like it's true, so it must be true. True TV, crunchy, tasty, buggy. And it's the con job here. This guy here with the world's most annoying hairdo. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know where they make these creatures like Adam Conover. And people say, Adam, he's a terrible guy. He's this and that. It's nothing that a good curb stomping wouldn't fix, really, this turd here. But yeah, here is Adam Conjob here pushing that we need to switch to a bug diet. We should all eat bugs, and are you ready? True TV. The funny thing here too, I hope you guys can see this. People are woke. They're woke. I will not live in a pod. I will not eat the bugs. I gotta say, I got it. You should. He's missing a few. He say, "I will not change my gender. I will not be a degenerate. I will not embrace narcissism. I will not eat the bugs. I won't live in a stupid pod." But that's what they want. They want us to be the pod people. You know, like the people from the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you guys have seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers or read the book, it's very interesting how that's kind of falling. It's all kind of coming out. So the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, it's parasites, plant parasites from a different planet, or at least the 1970. I'm talking about the 1978 version. The 1950s version is more about communism, right? But the 1978 version, which is definitely the best one, the one with Spock in it and Donald Sutherland. If you haven't seen that, you should try to watch that. It's a very, very good horror film made by the Tribe. And it depicts a future in which humans are replaced by clones, basically. These plants they'll hook on, lash onto you when you're sleeping, and they'll suck the energy out of you, and they'll create a new clone, an identical clone, and the clone will just be a completely mind-controlled servant of a hive mind, basically. It's right. So in many ways, they're already doing this to humanity. They're already creating the pod people. So this whole sort of notion of convincing people to live in pods, which is all over. I don't have that prepped here. I could show you that just for an example here. Let's open up another Google window, and we'll ask the Rainbow Borg here. Pod living. Yeehaw! All right, come on, guys. Let's all go live in a pod. We can eat bugs. Bugs for breakfast. You eat bugs? I gotta find that. I gotta find that video. It cracked me up so much. I know you guys would really appreciate it. So I'll see if I can track down who had sent it to me earlier. Might take a sec or two. Hang in there. But yeah, it's out of this world. What's going on? Out of this world. It's out of this world. It gets so much worse every day. And every day they just keep pushing the boundaries. It's astonishing what they're doing to humanity. They are transforming us. They are truly living up to what they say. Oh yeah, okay. So maybe I gotta look for that. Where is it? Trying to bring this up. Hang on there. This made me crack up so much here today. Now I gotta send the link. I gotta move it around. I gotta do this, do that. How do I do this? Okay, what's it called? Lunch Boys. Faceless propagandists. Okay, so I'll look that up. There we go here. There it is.
They ain't gonna.
Yeah, I gotta sub this channel right away. What was the video called? Lunch Boys. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it here. Which one is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, it's here. I'm sure they're all pretty funny. Yeah, here we go.
Well, what do you have?
All right. So hopefully this will come in well. I'll turn up the volume here. I'm just going to check to see. I reckon I better check to see. Everybody can see what I'm showing here. I saw this. I cracked up so much here. Let's listen in.
Well, what do you have for lunch today, Clint? Hey, Nort. I've got a hot dog. It's just a beef hot dog, and then I got some green tea. Well, Cliff, I would have thought your parents cared more about the environment. What do you mean, Nort? Well, just check this out, Cliff. I've got what looks like a hamburger, but it ain't just a hamburger. This is made entirely from soy products, and then a little bit of my dead grandfather, and then also a bunch of bugs. Hey, that's pretty cool, Nort. Oh, this is nothing, Cliff. To drink, I have water that we got out of the toilet. We got one of those new Bill Gates toilets that everybody does a poo in it, and then it takes the water out, and you drink the water. Really good for the environment. I wish my bitch mother and my dick dad cared about the environment like your parents do, Nort.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I don't know. I hope that came in okay. Oh man, I like it. You got to have a sense of humor in this day and age. You did have the Agenda 21 thing there. Yeah, Agenda 21. Norp's lunch box. He's got his burger. It's got like eyeballs and fingers and bugs and parts of his uncle in there. He's got a glass full of recycled poop water. It's not even a joke, really. I mean, it's all, this is what it's going to be in like 10 years. It's going to be like this. Look at what the Greta characters are doing to humanity. I mean, it's astonishing what's going on, what they're programming people into. So it's kind of a good place to start with this because we're going to get into the bigger picture here with the whole bug thing. I'm going to try to juggle my screens around here so I can have a chat. Pay attention here, just in case Camille jumps in. Hopefully she'll be all right to find the link. So as you see here on YouTube, you get, I put on a search here, eating bugs. You got The Late Show with James Corden. Here he is eating bugs with Anna Faris, Titus Frost, and David George Gordon. Survival skills here. Food My Village. Food My Village. Survival skills. Finding insects in water fried on clay for food. The one here with James Corden here is from 4 years ago. So it's like they've been pushing this for quite some time. Here's mukbang, weird foods, eating scorpions, centipedes, insects, and bugs. Eating satisfying eating sounds. It's a mukbang. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
都是高蛋白的特色美食。
Yeah, it's
大的叫木花，
done wonders for you.
大麦虫、面包虫。
It's so gross.
这道菜有一个特别的名字叫飞黄腾达。是我看到这条。
We eat this in North Korea. ASMR. Why isn't this on trending, Susan? It's still managed to get over 300,000 views here. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, eh? It's like, oh yeah, here she's gonna eat the worms. Are they still alive? Are they still like? Yeah. Yum.
别看小，特别香，满满的都是高蛋白。
Wow, yeah.
这个是上个视频做好的油泼发财虫，不用害怕，这个都是可以食用的
What
高
the
蛋白美
hell
食。
are those?
大虫子吃过往屏幕上点一下，没吃过往屏幕上点两下。哪天见面请大家吃。
It just goes on and on. Okay, come get your cockroach.
老铁们，刚出锅了一盘炸蝎子，麻辣口的，看看有没有食欲啊？有食欲的往上面点2下，开吃。
And she's awfully hungry too. It's not like she's taking her time. It's like she hasn't eaten in a week or something. She's just chomping down. She just get down on all fours, eat it like a dog.
小虫子继续造。
Ooh, delicious, yummy. Yeah. Oh yeah.
没看过瘾的，把上方加号点上，晚上直播间。
Maybe you should frickin' don't talk with your mouth full. Anyways, I think we've seen enough of that. Remember the beta larvae here with what's his name? Bear Grylls. Is it Bear Grylls or Bear Grylls? You know the guy that pretends to sleep in the jungle. He'll spend like he'll be like making this hammock or something in the jungle, and then he'll go sleep in a 5-star hotel. Here are Good Morning Mythical. Yeah. Eating a scorpion. Bug War Challenge. Here's the TLC. TLC. Come get your TLC. Obsessed with eating bugs. My crazy obsession. So it's obsessed with eating bugs. My crazy obsession. Kids try bugs. All right, this one we're going to take a look at here. Isn't this nice? You got hi-ho kids here with 3.33 million subscribers, like I always say. And here they are getting kids to eat bugs. Very classy. It's like, why don't the adults eat the bugs? You're getting the kids to eat the bugs. But this is all part of the Agenda 21 programming. They are bypassing the parents completely with this stuff because they're going into the schools and they're saying, hey, kids, you know your parents with their barbecues and their swimming pools and their SUVs. Yeah, they destroyed the planet. So we're going to save it. We're going to get out in March. You're going to live in a pod. It's going to be a nice pod, though. You can smell the person's farts next to you. You'll be a lot more close. You'll be closer to everyone. You're going to live in a pod. We're going to give you an electric scooter or an electric bike. You still have to pedal, but, we put the little electric motor on there to give your legs a little rest because you're turning into a marshmallow eating all those bugs. But you're going to eat bugs. You're going to live in a pod. You're going to drink recycled shit. It's not even a joke. It's really happening. Like, this is really happening. They are really doing this. They are really doing this. This is the point of this show, is that it is actually happening, like, for real. And I'll show you this, like, for real. Okay, here's an example. Let's make sure you can see my screen here. Eating ants, CBC kids. Now, I can't play the CBC because they flag everything. Even if I play 5 seconds, they'll flag my video because they are COCKSUCKERSs from hell. But here they are, where they're doing the CBC kids in a session, in a segment where they called Wigged Out. So what they do in Wigged Out is they get kids to put on wigs, preferably rainbow ones or purple ones, along with the lipstick and the makeup and all that. And then they do odd things. Like they act really weird. They act really gay. For instance, CBC does this thing where they do a 7-second thing where they do 7 seconds of exercise. 7 seconds of exercise. Could you imagine? I mean, when I was a kid, you couldn't keep me still. 7 seconds? Well, I was never inside watching television, right? So, I mean, it just goes to show you wonder why kids are obese. Well, they're sitting in in their homes or their institutions, more likely, watching these obese people who have gender confusion eat bugs with wigs on their heads. So here they are on CBC Kids eating ants. This is just from a few days ago. I didn't get a chance to cover this. This is something that I had on the back burner sort of thing that I was getting to, so I'm getting to it now. But here you go. CBC Kids saying that we should eat bugs. And of course, they always disable the comments here. But they want your kids to eat bugs. That's the reality. And they want your kids to change their gender and never procreate, never have babies, never have families, and live in pods. They want their kids to be pod people. Yeah, for sure. Here's CBC Kids just to show you how serious this is. Insects, the new superfood. Wonderful. Wonderful. Remember that book, How to Eat Fried Worms? Yeah, I guess. Was it a New York Times bestseller? Was it by Goldstein or something? You know? Remember that book, How to Eat Fried Worms? A kid dares the main character, Billy, to eat 15 worms in 15 days. Billy does it, and he ends up liking it. Of course. Who wouldn't like eating worms? I bet they taste as good as they look they taste, which means you probably want to throw up as soon as you eat one. Most of you are probably thinking, gross. Yeah, but maybe Billy was onto something. Studies. I love that. Studies. All right, don't provide any studies. Don't provide any links. Don't provide anything. Just say studies. It's just like Pentagon officials say, Barbara Starr. Studies are saying that eating insects could be good for you and the planet. True, a worm isn't an insect, but the thought of eating one might make you shiver just as much as the thought of eating a plate of fried crickets. So why are insects, the farmed kind, not the ones you pluck out of the ground, great to eat? Oh, wonderful. Yeah, they're the farmed kind. And then they're going to tell you that they're a great source of protein, minerals, such as iron, zinc, and magnesium. Now, yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, sure. But so are chickens, and so are pigs, and so are plants, and all these other things that we traditionally eat. I'm not here to say that eating insects is an unhealthy thing necessarily. All I'm here to tell you is that enjoy your bug bars, enjoy your Soylent Green, because this is the future of your food. They are using the climate crisis, the Extinction Rebellion, to try to push this rhetoric, of course, that we have to start eating bugs now instead of eating animals. And they've been conditioning people through many of their manufactured movements that they control. Things like the vegetarian, vegan, stuff like that. And again, I never want anyone to think that I am slandering people that choose not to eat animals. You have my respect for doing so. And I think it's perfectly healthy to be a vegan or a vegetarian in this day and age. And there's no reason not to necessarily, unless, of course, it's a matter of preference. But when we talk about a communist-style system where people are living in pods, the Plandopolis that they showed us years back, which is coming to fruition way faster than anybody could have possibly imagined. My city, now I have a problem, actually. When I walk down the streets sometimes, those electric scooters are just in the way, like on the sidewalks and stuff, because they're everywhere now. So they got electric bikes and electric scooters, and they've taken all the roads, and they've given 3/4 of every road to the bikes. No joke. I'm not making this up. I showed this in a live show a couple weeks back, or no, it wasn't a live show. It was a big Agenda 21. I'll have to re-upload those to BitChute so folks can see them. But I was showing how Montreal is a model for Agenda 21, 100%. So I'm not here to debate whether bugs are nutritious or not nutritious. That's beside the point. I'm sure eating worms has, it could be nutritious in a way, but it's also disgusting. And it's not what we are. It's not a part of our culture. Now, yes, you could say Asian cultures and African cultures eating bugs is more common. Yeah, it's true. And that's what they're going to tell you. They're going to say, well, all these people in other parts of the world eat bugs regularly. Well, good for them. Good for them. Go eat your bugs. Go ahead. I'm not interested. Remember the Steven Spielberg movie too? I don't know if you guys recall the one with the Temple of Doom with the highly racist sort of Indian scene where they're eating the bugs, and they bring out the big plate of beetles. Then they bring out the chilled monkey brains and stuff like that. You wonder, though, Steven Spielberg, if maybe that was a bit of predictive programming showing the future of this bug diet. But as you see, they are conditioning children. I mean, they're putting these articles up for children here, CBC Kids, with their symbol, which is a rainbow unicorn. Of course, you all know what that means. I don't have to tell you that. And here's your wigged out today's challenge, eating ants. Very, very interesting. And they got the insect facts, 5 fun facts about bees. Well, bees have a hive mind, and that's what we're going to program your children into, which is already happening with the Greta Thunberg and everything else. This is out of this world what they're doing. And it is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this stuff. It's really, really crazy here. Okay, so just for a second, I'll stop sharing my screen. I want to make sure here and see if Camille has messaged me. Camille, where are you? I guess she's running a bit late here. Let me see here. You know what? I'm going to send an invite out here. This is nuts, though. I don't know what people think about this. Did I put out a tweet for this podcast here? Let's just see here. Here, I got so many messages. I'm trying to filter through them here. All right. There you go. I sent off a link there. You want to jump in the show, Anonymous? Here. Close that up. Oh, there she is. My word. I'm so sorry. Camille.
I just got here.
That's it. Perfect.
And I'm so glad I just heard you say Vanonymous is coming. I was going to say, we need Vanonymous here.
Yeah.
Conversation. Okay.
Exactly. I thought he'd be good to bring in here because he's been paying attention to a lot of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
As of you, I don't know if you had a chance to hear anything that I've been talking about here.
A little bit here and there.
Yeah, the bugs.
Not last however long. Yeah, the bugs.
So, yeah. Would you?
No. Well,
No.
I don't know. I remember seeing when I was young, like lollipops with bugs on the inside. I don't think I ever had one, though. I don't know if it was like crickets or something.
Yeah, man, I don't see. I mean, like, I probably would like try something, but maybe not now. But like when I was younger, I would, just as a dare sort of thing. Because you know how you are when you're younger, right? Oh yeah, what the hell? I'll eat it. But now,
if you were really hungry, maybe.
Yeah. Now, as a matter of principle, I'm like, forget it. I'm not going to eat your Soylent Green. I will not.
Certainly not farmed ones.
Yeah, and that too, because then, okay, well, what are they feeding the farmed insects?
Yeah.
Right. And that's where your work comes into play, because it's like, well, we got to get down to the microbacterial sort of level of what they're doing in their petri dishes.
Yeah, seriously. Right? I haven't looked at the actual bug farming at really much at all. I've seen it here and there with things. I've seen the chirp chips and stuff like that, but I have seen the next step beyond, because apparently insect cells culture really well. Ooh. So yeah,
that sounds.
Sorry. I have an article. I can send it to you if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they seem to be an easy one. Like they grow free floating and all sorts of other goodness, and that they are they already use them. They already use insect cells for manufacturing insecticides, drugs, and vaccines. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That it's so important for you to bring that up because this is like they know what they're doing. Like this isn't coming out of the blue. This is
Oh,
well
yeah.
thought out. Like this is something that they have plotted for quite some time. So they know exactly where they're taking this.
Oh, sure.
Have you
Yeah.
noticed like in your environs, in your town, stuff like that? Have you noticed any of this stuff? Has it been popping up anywhere? Is schools?
I feel like I've seen the chirp chips in store, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I
next
don't
to
know. I
the
try not to go in the
next to the Impossible Burgers and
Yeah.
the synthetic eggs.
Ugh. No, they're just egg. Isn't that so deceiving? I think that that's just such a tricky sort of thing if people weren't paying attention and they feel good. It's just egg, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, without the chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's I mean, like the whole joke about the McDonald's 100% pure beef, and it's like, well, it never was, never will be, and now it's likely to be something completely different. But they were able to win that court battle, sort of thing. And so now they can use the slogan, and then people think, well, it's 100% pure beef, right?
Well, they define the words they use, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I mean, that it's trickery, it's total trickery, and we have no idea. I mean, how is the average person supposed to know what these chemicals and all these different things that they're putting into our foods, what the effect is? You have no clue. Like, and yeah, if you eat something, like say you eat fish that's like caught directly out of the ocean, you're eating something that has evolved for millions of years, and it has a main part of the whole ecosystem and is designed for you as a human being to eat. I mean, it's from Mother Nature itself. So this is what we're going to lose completely, because they're finding ways to circumnavigate all of that, where they could be saying Atlantic or Pacific salmon, but it might maybe there's a clause or something in the farm salmon that they're creating, the genetically modified, where they can actually call it that, right? And then say, yeah, well, it's it is because technically it's like 100% pure beef. It's like these that's why these major food corporations employ massive legal teams, right, to be able to and then of course we have the revolving doors with the food administrations, Food and Drug Administrations, and all that, which is a whole nother kettle of fish. But I find that really interesting that you're talking about how they've been experimenting for so long on so many different things with using insects, including things like vaccinations, which is, it's like, ooh. It's like, well, they have obviously done huge amounts of work into this bug diet. And I know you probably haven't seen the film Snowpiercer.
No, not yet. Sorry.
Yeah. I bring that up just because I think of the predictive programming that likely is being shown in that film, which is, they're showing you future poor classes of human beings will be eating basically Soylent Green, but it's like a bug version of Soylent Green, where they're eating these gelatin type bars that are made out of insects, basically. But at the same time that we're getting this, you might have to, you might be in the future where you go, what do you want to eat tonight? You want to have bugs, or you want to have relatives?
Goodness.
Because it's almost like that, where it's like they're bringing in the cannibalism at the same time, and then the Soylent Green, and the synthetic everything else to go with it. So it's crazy. I mean, it's all over. It's everywhere, and I just noticed it over the past week or so, or the past few weeks. This has been something I've wanted to cover. I'll just bring this screen share up here again. I'm bringing Adam. Do you remember Adam Conover? Adam ruins everything. He literally does. I mean,
only because you've talked about him. Do I hear myself?
Yeah. No, that's probably me. It's probably my stereo here. Hopefully, let me know if that continues, and I'll switch over to headphones here. Just hang on a second here. I'm going to bring this up, and yeah, there he is. So this is I talked about this before. It's True TV.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And here you've got Adam ruins everything. We should all eat bugs, and you already are. And what he's saying in this is that, well, bugs are already, like, they give examples like lobsters, and they say, well, lobsters are essentially a type of, like, they're related to spiders and stuff like that.
I've heard this argument.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
lobsters aren't insects, but they come from distant, like, from millions of years, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, however long, come from a similar family. So that's one of the ways that they twist it here, and we allow these bugs in there. I don't know what this is. Let's just play a little second here. I'll take a little segment here. So I'm hoping I can get away with this.
That's very smart. Lobsters are essentially spiders of the sea.
I'm never eating a lobster again. A bug's hips shall never pass these lips.
Oh, the truth is, bugs are already in most of our foods, and there's nothing unsafe or even unhealthy about it. Our produce and canned foods are full of little bug bits. Broccoli, carrots, and canned tomatoes can contain heads.
Look at that. They're showing the broccoli here, and they've got all these bugs. It's like, what? What are you saying? Like,
I have heard that there's lots of bugs on broccoli. That's why you're not supposed to eat it raw. You're supposed to
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, like,
but not like that.
Not like that. No, seriously. You take the broccoli. If you're like me, I'll rinse my veggies and fruits for a good minute under cold water, like, because I know the pesticides, herbicides, everything that's likely on these things is, you can't take that lightly. But if there's bugs, you're gonna rinse them off, right? Yes, bugs will get into produce and stuff like that, but you're not buying the produce to eat the bugs, and chances are you're not really eating the bugs. You might eat a little bit here and there and not notice it, sort of thing. But they want you to make it seem like it. And here they go.
That's supposed to be cockroaches or beetles. What is that?
Yeah, like, and look at this, right? They're saying tomato. I guess it's canned tomatoes and stuff like that can contain heads, legs, and thoraxes of beetles. It's like, what? And if you found something like that, you would be able to sue the company, like, easily. You'd be able to say, well, look, I found a freaking cockroach in my I mean, that would be a lawsuit. That is not on the ingredients. So, okay, maybe somewhere occasionally this stuff gets in.
Spinach and canned tomatoes can contain heads, legs, thoraxes, and even entire insects.
How is that allowed?
Until I become a chef full time, I still have my day job.
And it's just actor, but day job, FDA inspector. Right. So here they are, right? And this is just everywhere where they're giving you this idea that, you know what, you're already eating bugs, so you might as well just accept it, basically. You even have a studio here with the squished with a fly swatter.
Oh my.
It's like this is quite a bit of production that goes into selling this. And let's see what he says here.
I'm afraid you've been squished.
Chef Aaron, you did demonstrate why humans unknowingly ingest around 1 to 2 pounds of flies, maggots, and other bugs hidden in their food each year. But at the end of the day, the execution just wasn't there.
How much of it's from, like, hot dogs and things?
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, never eat hot dogs.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't doubt that they have been, sneaking bugs into our foods. And this is all par for the course, right? Where they're bringing in, like, here's an example here where you've got UK fast food chain wants people to eat crunchy bugs here. So a London startup is on a mission to make eating bugs seem less weird. A new partnership with UK fast food chain could help reach that goal. And so they're talking about this avocado fast food restaurant chain will become the first UK to feature edible insects on its regular menu. And avocado's customers will have the option of adding startup Eat Grubs, sweet chili and lime flavored crickets as toppings to their salad or poke bowl.
It's just so appetizing.
Yeah, or if they're feeling, or if you're feeling particularly adventurous, they can snag a snack-sized bag of bugs to munch on solo.
This is for the really bold people that want to go eating bugs. I heard of a thing earlier today that on This Week in Google, actually, they were talking about this orchestra provisions. I just sent you the link. It's seasonings with cricket powder in there, but it's to kind of introduce people to, it's just your seasonings, but it's laced with cricket, so it's healthier for you.
All right, let's take a look at that. I'll bring this over here. I know you got another link there too, so.
That's okay. That's the one, the lab grown.
All right, so this is Orchestra Provisions.
They said that they named it that because a group of crickets is an orchestra. They said.
So what are we looking at here? What is this?
It looks like a seasoning blend with, I guess, crickets. I don't know.
Gourmet cricket seasoning from the heart of rural Idaho. Savory, sustainable, smart. SSS.
And they make all different kinds. Like they have just a salt one too. It looks like under the flavors tab.
And this all ties into Agenda 21, sustainability. This is the catchword that everyone needs to really pay attention to, because you're going to see that everywhere.
Oh yeah, sustainably produced. That's something that should like set your bells off. Go look. How are they doing that?
What's going on?
Yeah, because maybe it's a good small business or something that's just using that term because that's what's used, but maybe not. So.
Well, no, but it's likely it's something connected to United Nations, and
very likely.
Yeah, and that, you know, it's here to, well, they're re-engineering humanity in every way, shape, and form.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, you know, covering the transhumanists and the transgenders and how all that's blending together to make the new types of human beings, the transhumanist CRISPR clone whatever babies that you're gonna have coming out you probably already do have coming out.
Don't forget DIY. You got that crazy man, that Josiah Zahner, teaching people how to do CRISPR at home.
Really?
Yeah, I sent you some links the other day about not like taking people that don't know anything about how to do scientific experiments and how to do
make your own CRISPR. You gotta get your own CRISPR lab going. That is nuts.
It's fun because he sells the kits and that you can use. You don't have to, and that right now, I guess in just a few days, Netflix is coming out with a docu-series. He's featured in there. It's Unnatural Selection, I think it's called. And then at the same time, he is offering this free YouTube course on how to do this yourself. It's so convenient. And he comes from NASA. He used to do synthetic biology at NASA. But,
okay, you're going to have to send me that link again because we'll take a look at it. But I got your other article here. Edible insects, lab-grown meat. The real future food is lab-grown insect meat.
Yeah. That's the one that talks about them being already used for vaccines and insecticides and things.
So would they already be feeding a lot of the cattle this stuff to begin with?
Well, it's possible. I mean, there's definitely enough companies using synthetic biology to make a whole bunch of feeds for us and for the critters. Yeah, they could be feeding the cattle that. They could be feeding the crickets that. They feed the fish that.
Wow.
I mean,
it's
all sorts of stuff.
It's like, really, I mean, you're getting to the point where the only way you're going to eat well is if you live near the ocean and you got a boat or something, you go out and fish. And even then, you know, with the farmed fish and everything else that's getting into our oceans, you know, and then the nanotech and God knows what else, right, that they're doing here. So they say cultured insect tissues could combine the planet-saving best of insect farming, GM livestock, labriculture, and plant-based meat substitutes. This brings all of these things together.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Oh, it's all to save the planet, of course. Livestock farming is destroying our planet. Okay, show me the proof. Like, what? Okay, I mean, you just can't say that. It's okay, maybe it's not great for the planet. Maybe, yeah. But, you know, this is what they want you to believe. So they're going to just throw this out. It's a major cause of land and water degradation, biodiversity loss, acid rain, coral reef degeneration, deforestation, and, of course, climate change. Plant-based diets, insect farming, lab-grown meat, and genetically modified animals have all been proposed as potential solutions. Which is best? All of these combined, say researchers at Tufts University. I don't know where that is, but writing in Frontiers in Sustainable Food Systems. This is just nuts. They explain why lab-grown insect meat fed on plants and genetically modified for maximum growth, nutrition, and flavor could be a superior green alternative for high-volume, nutritious food production.
Step right up.
Yeah. So they're telling you that the lab-grown insect meat, which is fed on plants and genetically modified. So they're genetically modifying these insects or their meat, or I guess they're genetically modifying the insects for maximum growth, nutrition, and flavor. Could be a superior green alternative for the high volume nutritious food production. Alternatives to conventional meat farming due to environmental, here's the Hegelian dialectic, due to environmental, public, and animal healthcare concerns associated with the current livestock system, it is vital to develop more sustainable food production methods, says lead author Natalie Rubio. You know, that's the whole thing, though. It's like we talk about this all the time. It's like, no, we need to end the massive sort of corporate agriculture and go back to small farms and supporting local communities. That's really the solution. And then we probably pay more for our meats and more for our produce.
It's the only way.
Yeah. And that's the solution. I mean, that is really the solution is to and then use the tech to make it easier to do these things, like just like we use tech to irrigate crops and stuff like that, and we use solar power and stuff like that. Like, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, in the sense that you don't reject the technology available to bring in higher yields. But one of the big misnomers dealing with genetically modified foods is the yields. Like, they always try to sell you this argument that, genetically modified crops produce bigger yields, but they don't. It's total bunk. And it's just the way that they are trying to condition you into this. Oh, we need to change everything because we can make it better. And it's like, no, we need to know exactly what we're eating. Otherwise, we're going to go mad, or we're not going to be humans anymore, because we are what we eat. And if we're eating things that are not of this earth, things that you are creating in labs, then what does that make us ultimately?
They're going to reinvent us. I mean,
Exactly.
These people are crazy. But yeah, we have to go with the local guy, and they've got to do the best that they can. So they need to know that all this crazy stuff is happening, because they're definitely coming after people who are raising animals, like the different the tags and sensors and things. They're constantly pushing that to the newer next thing. And I mean, who's to say that they can't do things to the animals with those, not just monitor them, but maybe alter them in some way. So you don't mean to, but the UN says you have to have a tag, and
Also,
Pfizer sells them,
You wonder sometime too with these, H1, type flus and stuff, the avian bird flus and stuff, if these aren't being created in labs to bring in that sort of, this is the problem. We have small farming and, people having small livestock, and they're not applying the industry-wide sort of standards, and therefore, these deadly flus can spread quicker. And then it also probably makes it more defeating for those who would aspire to have their own livestock, because then they see, I don't want to have livestock because what if I have to kill all my pigs or all my chickens or something because of some outbreak or something like that. So you wonder how much, because a lot of what's happened, like here in it seems bizarre, but it's like here in Montreal, it's like if I'm not mistaken, it's like the coldest city in the world, over 1 million people in the wintertime. And if you lived here, you would know that. Although, people in Winnipeg would say, yes, that they're colder. I'd say Winnipeg's definitely colder. But the thing is that we're not allowed to have fires.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what? You can't burn wood. You're not allowed to have a fire. And you're not allowed to have chickens. So you're like, they've already implemented many of the things that would restrict people from having any sort of independence off their sort of grid. And they are definitely moving everyone into these massive cities to carry out their Agenda 21 objectives. So this is where it's all going. The credit scores are coming in. Like, this is all happening. We're witnessing this whole transformation of society. We've seen what they're doing to the youth. I mean, the youth, they're using the youth as a weapon these days to and they're really messing with the economy, in the sense that you have these massive protests, and they're just everywhere every day. There's a new city where there's a huge massive protest with Greta Thunberg and co. And everybody is forced to deal with their actions. Like, they are hijacking our cities and forcing us to comply with their rhetoric and their propaganda, and we're forced, and it flies directly in the face too of the economy and just our sort of civilization, the way that it has naturally, well, it's not completely naturally, but the way that it has sort of developed. We are now going to change everything. So we're going to take away free enterprise capitalism. We're going to force everybody into a communist, just like we're going to force everybody into a worship of nature, a one world religion sort of thing. And we're going to force you all to eat our synthetic foods. And you're going to eat bugs. Like, it's not a joke. You are going to eat bugs because there's not going to be anything else on the menu pretty soon, the way it's going. This is happening really quick. Like, I was shocked how quickly these Impossible Burgers came about and how they're everywhere now. Like, I was shocked. I saw it at one fast food joint. I think it was A&W, and then a week later it was at Burger. And then I heard that like a week later, I heard Burger Thing now having this mystery burger, and it was like, well, what's the mystery? And it's like, well, you might get meat or you might get the plant-based meat.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then McDonald's doing the same thing. Tim Hortons introduced their synthetic meats and their fake eggs over the past year.
Hardee's is breakfast, lunch, and dinner now. They're going to have these things on the menu.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's like all of these little restaurants too, and they always sell out right away.
Yeah.
Offering these plant-based things. But this article, the one that you're looking at still, if you scroll down a little bit further, it's even crazier too, because in order to get that meaty texture, they say that they need to like exercise the cells, and so they are using optogenetics. They're using light to manipulate them and make them do what they want to exercise themselves.
So they're like torturing the insects, basically.
Well, it's their cells. I don't know, but it says that right there that there's another advantage of insect cells, is that they're more readily accepting of genetic modifications than other animal cells. It's like, oh, goody,
Wow.
That could never turn out bad.
Yeah, of course. It's so nuts, because it's like, okay, and again, like there are solutions to a lot of, I mean, like I say with fast food, I mean, fast food's a cancer in our society. It's not that it shouldn't exist. It's just that if we educated people properly, if we actually taught people critical thought, and we had an education system that actually encouraged people to be active and fit and smart and using their body and their brain as much as possible, then these entities wouldn't really exist, because there would be nothing supporting them. You might have
the
one
school system definitely just pushes people right into this. I remember when I went to high school, there were multiple lines in the lunchroom, and they like talk about had a presence. Little Caesars had a presence. There was a little salad bar, but they were feeding you this right at school.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The corporations themselves and the fast food, they now, like, it's most of the field days for the public education system is funded by these corporations.
Yeah.
And they'll bring the kids in. Oh, let's go see how McDonald's works. Oh, let's go to Walmart. Let's see how this all works. And it's like, it's ostensibly to teach them about how their society functions, but it's really just conditioning them into accepting the perverted sort of hijacking of our society by these sociopathic corporations, that even psychopathic, really. And you look at McDonald's, the only reason McDonald's became what it is, and all the other corporations have emulated this behavior, is that they targeted children. They targeted toddlers. Like, they literally, back in the 70s and 80s, went and said, we are going to target the youngest demographic that exists, and we're going to get them hooked at the earliest age possible. So they built a strategy of indoctrinating children at the earliest of age possible. That's what the whole McDonald's playground and the white clown, of course, Ronald McDonald and all that. That's what it's all about. The whole thing was and then the McDonald's parties and all that. The whole idea was get the kids, get them as young as possible, get them addicted to our foods. All right. So there's nothing. And then again, what I showed years back, where I would show in videos how McDonald's would set up community centers in all these black neighborhoods, like especially ghetto, black, Hispanic, poor, even white poor neighborhoods in places like New York, and other populated cities. And they go in under the guise of altruism, that we're part of the community, and McDonald's would supply. They'd be so magnanimous to supply, their drinks and their fake food, of course, to these community centers. And these community centers became the hub of activity where, these people would congregate together. And it's like, look what they're congregating over. It's like the food is absolutely toxic. It's so poisonous, and it's evil, and it's an intent. Its intent is to addict you for life. It's all under the guise. This is how they do it. They're very clever in the way that they hide their true intentions, right? And the average person that would work for McDonald's would have no clue. The average McDonald's owner, franchise owner, would have no clue. They would just be like, oh, I want to make money, I want to make a business, stuff like that. But the whole sort of, genesis of the whole fast food industry has been to target children, basically. And this is why they have they're a plague amongst society. And this is the whole thing. I'm not against people selling garbage food. You want to eat garbage, go and eat garbage, right? As long as it's not toxic in the point that it's killing you. I'm fairly okay with it, but I think the solutions are really easy. I mean, the solutions would be so easy to go into the public school system and say, well, the first thing we're going to teach kids is critical thought. We're going to teach kids that they have to use their minds and their bodies as much as possible. Then we're going to talk about the effects of these foods, and we're going to make this a priority on people. These things would disappear in a generation. They'd be gone. They'd be out of business, and we'd be much better off without it. And that would solve so much of the problem, because what is the problem? One of the problems that we have in our society is that people are eating way too much. Well, why are they eating too much? Well, partially because these major corporations are poisoning them and addicting them to their products. That's a major part of it. But also because they make these products cheap enough for people to afford them. And they set up their location strategically so that they're everywhere. So that, like you go into any Tom, Dick, and Harry town, and there's a McDonald's, there's a Burger thing, there's a Wendy's, there's, it's the same old gang of crooks in every city sort of thing. Or every
And remember
town.
that those young YouTubers we talked about once over on my channel, they're pushing the fast food through there too. They're just
yeah,
get
absolutely.
it in front of the children constantly. It's totally normal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's so that's all part of it. So like the New World Order is trying to convince us that, we're all part of the problem. We all have to change radically to be the solution. But the real problem is from the globalists themselves. The real problem is from the massive corporatocracy that runs our society. The real problem is that they have taken the education system and made it into a New World programming system. And instead of producing people that would actually bring about meaningful change, Greta's the perfect example, an excellent example. It's like, well, here's a person that identifies as having several mental disorders, including autism or Asperger's disease in her case, but that's a form of autism, right? And and then embracing that. And it's like we should be doing the opposite to kids. We should be saying, don't accept any weakness, overcome whatever it is, and an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, in the sense that, don't allow yourself to get diabetes. Why are kids getting diabetes? I mean, how is this? How does this happen? Well, it's because the kids are eating the junk food and the parents aren't doing parenting. They're not doing the proper thing. So much of what ails society is readily fixable if we just educated people properly. If we actually gave them an education instead of a programming sort of, or indoctrination sort of program that we do in our education system. So it's
one thing that's fun with the crowd. Oh, I hear myself again. One thing that's fun with this crowd that we have here and the people that'll listen to this is that they're obviously on to this whole New World Order thing, that it's definitely a big agenda after us all. And the food thing is one way that is very easy to see that they obviously want us to move into this. So we all get to be little rebels that actually make a difference by buying the right foods, by knowing the farmers and all of that. You're making an immediate difference, and especially if you then invite people over and feed them that yummy food, and let them see that it's that much better than what they're getting at the grocery store. But yeah, so that's one bonus of how blatant it is. But
all right,
I saw a list earlier today out. It's not really anything that we're talking about, but other than the fact that buy local, obviously, because I'm assuming here, but a local farmer that is saying that they're raising things organically, that they're doing things like sustainably, a local farmer is probably going to actually be doing the thing that you would think that is, like using totally natural methods. But I just sent you this big list I saw that's all these different chemicals that the organic industry exempts for organic food. It's just crazy. There's so many things that you don't even want to buy those grocery store vegetables, people. There's nothing really good going on there. You gotta eat from your area. And I know that was hard for people that had flooding and all kinds of stuff, but you have to like click through and go to other stuff too. But yeah, we need to figure out a way. It was easier in the summertime, I think, because then people could have grown their own food. But now, got to plan for it and do the change that you can do now.
Be the change you want to see, and absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a great time to. I know there's vegans out there, and where is Anonymous? But now's a good time to buy beef. Like if you can buy part of a cow, they had all summer, all the grass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good time.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, I've had listeners too that were on the, I don't know, the diet there. Like for instance, the meat diet.
Our friend with the birds, right?
Pardon me? Yeah. Well, you have several of them actually that were telling me, like, a lot of them were influenced by Jordan Peterson, who went on an all meat diet, and and I don't know, it's not the Atkins, it's something else, but it's similar, where you just the idea is that, well, the animals, if you're buying the fruits and vegetables, you're getting all the genetically modified and the pesticides, herbicides, and all that crap.
You get it with the animals too, though.
Yeah, well, that's what their theory that they put forth is that the animals, because of their complex digestive systems, were able to. Yeah, I know. Anything that makes it sound better, right? It's like no, that's crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna be right back in 1 second here, Camilla. So if you want to say something, I'm just gonna go and top off my drink here. So,
oh gosh, thanks for the warning. I wish that I could have Jeff put this up on the screen before he went away, but I'll have him put it there. I'm going to, oh no, I can share it over in the chat. Sorry, everybody. I wasn't expecting this. I'll go throw it in the chat. And the last time I put a link over here, the last time I was on with Jeff, I saw in the replay that it didn't show up. So hopefully you guys can see that. I just put a link in there to an article, a great article that really explains that optogenetics that I was talking about before. And you'll see all kinds of sad pictures with little mousies with probes going into their brains and everything, and how DARPA was all kinds of behind it. Did you guys get the link? I don't know if anybody could see that. But anyway, where are you,
I don't
Jeff?
think it did. I'm here.
What the heck? I can't even put the stinking. I'm seeing it. I see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it here myself. I don't think it's
YouTube.
I don't know. Yeah, well, we're using StreamYard here. And...
No, but I put it over in the live chat thing.
Okay, yeah, on YouTube. So yeah, see, I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat through StreamYard here. Well, I've got the whatchamacallit. I did switch to headphones, so hopefully you're not hearing any more echo.
Yeah, I see it. My link in the chat right above Man Bear Pig talking about smoking meth. Okay.
See, I don't see it here on this screen, so
thwarted again. But I gave you the link. I just put it there. So maybe you can put it over there.
You know what you could do as well is you could just I think you could do this right now, or you could just post it in the comments of the video.
Oh.
You could try that.
See if that shows up.
Yeah. See if that, because then people that are listening can just look down because it should be there available to them.
Okay.
But yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy. It's oh my gosh. So let's take a look at this article that you brought up here. Here are the chemicals the organic industry exempts for organic food in 2019.
Yeah, sorry. I don't even see the option for comments. I just refreshed
It's not there?
the page several times. No. That's...
Let me try then.
Sorry.
Did you post it there for me as well?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
It's the tech spot one?
Yeah. Okay. It's just a great one on optogenetics, and I was talking about that earlier. So
yeah,
I had it right there.
Let's see if tell me if you see it when I post it here. I'll tell you. All right, I posted it.
I see yours. Yeah.
Does it show? Because it's. Can you see it?
Yep, I see it, and it opens. Good. So anyway, totally off the subject, but it's a good article, people.
Oh yeah, it's great. No, I really appreciate and there's so much that we need to be paying attention to here. So getting back to the article here, in reality, organic food is covered in pesticides. If they were not, instead of only being an average of 13% more expensive than regular food, thanks to Amazon squeezing efficiency, it was 20% higher when Whole Foods was a separate company. It would be 80%. Pests and other natural blights would devastate their crops. This is why organic groups have resisted calls to put one thing on labels every consumer wants: the chemicals used in growing food. That's it, right? Because it's like part of the whole organic, bioorganic, and all that. You pay more, it gives you peace of mind, but really you have to.
All the big business bought out all the organic or so much.
Yes,
it's like they're going to do to the letter of the law. They can get away with a lot because we don't know the rules.
Exactly. So and so it's kind of hypocritical here that they are resisting putting, when they want the genetically modified, and that you have to think at a certain point that the genetically modified thing now is, I mean, it's a fait accompli in so many cases that you'd think that the organic industry is it's controlled by the same hands, and in many ways it's like, well, what are you getting with your organic food? How much cleaner is your organic food? Maybe it has a lot more pesticides.
Well, here's hoping it's a little bit better for people, because I mean, I know it's hard to do the seasonal thing, and people might be compelled to buy lettuce. Actually, I did buy lettuce the other day, and it wasn't local, but it was from Canada, so I was hoping it was a little better. But, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I do, because it only makes sense. It's like, and I think that's.
But they're terrible. That one the one biotech soil inoculant thing that was certified organic was a Canadian company. I mean.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. They're like, we did our trials for 5 years on organic strawberries. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Who'd you feed those to?
Well, everything is perception too, because it's like, like when you go to buy your eggs at your grocer, right? And you have like the most hilarious one are the free range chickens. And it's like Burnaby Farms. And they got like free range chickens, and they show chickens, and it's like there's the sun, and it's like a cartoon drawing, and they're out, and they're out in in the daylight and having fun and living their lives when it's really nothing at all like that. It's total bull, basically. Like they probably let them run outside for like 20 minutes and back in, and it's just like, okay, we can throw that on the label now. And again, I mean, over and over again, the real solution, I mean, there is a solution. The solution is to take advantage of the technology that we have to get yourself off their grid and to support local farmers and to, reject these mass corporations and all their machinations and the Agenda 21 sort of food takeover of the food supply, which is, it's scary to behold. I mean, that's what they don't want you to be able to do, and they don't want you to be able to consider that.
Sustainable, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I do think, one of the things they do try to encourage in cities like Montreal is like the co-op gardens and stuff like that. But really, you're not. I mean,
yeah, we have those around here too.
How much are you producing, right?
It's a small lot, to get people in touch with nature. But I mean, you're not going to get families through the winter. It's a nice thing. But I see the same groups in my area that are behind this insano takeover that's going on of my town. It's like, so why are you doing that?
And it's just another way to move the herd, right? It's another way of saying, no, it's good. You're partaking in something, you're doing something good for the environment. And, and it's like, no, really what we need to do is just get off their system. That's the reality, is get control and start producing as much as your food and use the tech that is available and it's totally doable in this day and age. I mean, the average, if you had enough land sort of thing, and you could set up a whole system where you could produce enough food for your family and, have a small fish farm and, just a whole ecosystem kind of working.
Well, and even for people that can't do that right now, at least in my area, whenever I go driving around out in the country, you see signs at the end of people's driveways like eggs here. And you could stop, you go there and you see them, and you could see if those chickens are chickens you want to be eating their eggs.
That's it. I mean, you see chickens.
I was listening to our talk from, I think, the last time, when I was saying that people could start a business to bring like their farm goods into places like Montreal where you're so trapped on the island. But it doesn't even have to be somebody starts a farm. There's like you said, use the technology. There's so many ways to get together with little farms around, farther away maybe than right by the city, that somebody could just orchestrate something with them. You could do that, and then you don't have to work at McDonald's. You could just be a good little arranger and then bring it on into the city. But exactly. People would buy it. I'm telling you, people would buy your stuff.
Well, especially in the future, the more fake and synthetic our foods become.
If we're allowed in the future, people gotta. This has to. I mean, it's got to stop right now. It has to, because it just gets crazier from here. And then before long, we're vertical farms and fermenters in your old warehouses, and that's how you're getting and producing your locally produced sustainable foods. It's going to be so fast. Look how fast this little rollout of their their intro products happened. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere around the world. It's just crazy. And shoot, they're even growing the lab-grown meat in space, right? Ayla Farms, the Israeli company, they grew meat in space, so they can grow meat
in space.
Yeah, they're little
pigs in space.
Not pigs. It's not going to be pigs. Is that kosher?
That's what it made me think of. But it's as ridiculous, really. It's like, what the hell? What are they doing? But yeah, it's nuts. And that's the whole thing. When we think about it, you just think about it logically for a second. All of this is coming from a global sort of a group. I mean, it's global organizations that have coordinated all of this, and this has been many decades in the works.
Oh gosh, yeah. This is such a. I mean, it's so well put together. You can just, if you look back, you can see how it all goes. It all just works. and the future is worse than it is now, and it's already so crazy. How do you know? How do you know if the seeds that you're going to buy for your garden aren't seeds that they tampered with CRISPR or with their microbial consortia and mixed up the little life on the roots, and that's not a whole different plant? You know, how do you know at this point? It's already that bad. But I mean,
You don't.
you
I mean,
just don't.
but that's why independence and
Yeah.
communities. I mean, like this is what we're up against. What we're up against is a global sort of takeover that wants to take control of everything, like every element of civilization. This is it's terrifying to behold, and it's all under the guise, oh, the planet is out of control and we got to save the planet, so everybody has to change radically. And we're seeing how quickly this is coming out. Like I watched the Canadian debates. Well, I was like maybe halfway through the French one, but I watched the English one, and the top topics now are the environment. Like they start the debates with the environment, and it's like front and center. And it's like, okay, 5-10 years ago, the environment was one of the topics, usually one of the last ones that they would discuss. Now it is the topic. And it's like, and each party is like, we're going to do more. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And we're, proposing this and that and that. And it's like, wow, everyone, like, look how quickly this has all been unfolded. Like how this is the complete narrative. Because like when you really examine Agenda 21, when you look at like Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, and you look at what they're trying to do, they tell you like literally that they are going to transform. They are transforming our world. They are transforming humanity. And there's no way that you can argue that this isn't happening. It's just everywhere and every level. There is a global control of what's going on, and it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
And all the big industries, they're hooked together in this. They're all working together because, like, the medical world helped so much with the stem cell development, and with the growing organs and things, and that they developed so much of that. They also were big in the smart particles that came out of the medical world a lot, and the thing they're talking here for the optogenetics for the cricket cells, that comes from building biorobotics, that they were using insect tissue for that. They're all working together. It's, yeah. I know that the tech is useful, but my goodness, how do we completely step away without running away and leaving it all happening? It's, yeah. I don't know.
Well, the again and again, their only solution is to break from their control. Like the only solution. I mean, if you want to believe all of what they're trying to convince you to believe, by all means, go ahead and enjoy your programming, enjoy your pod home. Joy living in a shoebox, smelling your neighbor who's centimeters away from you in the middle of the night taking farts. Enjoy your fake food. Enjoy your Soylent Green, because they're not hiding what they're doing. I mean, they are literally telling us that we should start eating ourselves. We should start eating dead people. And I mean, at the point where, you have the ridiculous women there who worked for, what is it, LaRouche there, saying we need to eat the babies. We gotta start eating babies now. Yeah.
I saw that, and then somebody was saying, "Oh, that was a plant." I don't know anything about that. But
no, it was a plant. It was ludicrous, but it was, in a way, it's not that far off, because it's like every time they push us further, it gets more normal. So like with the sexuality, for instance, you could never have gotten away with what they're doing today 10, 15 years ago or 20 years ago, right? Like to think that the most, like, say for the most popular YouTubers are all like men putting on lipstick and makeup and all that. It's like, what? Like, that would be, wow, what the hell? That's impossible. That is normal now. So they have transformed us in so many ways that they can get away with this stuff because they have programmed us into it, and they have hijacked everything. And as you stated before, all these corporations are doing the same thing. Like we talked about, was it last week or 2 weeks ago when we did the show, and it was like, like in the old days, the good old fashioned sort of competition. You'd say that corporations say, Burger King came out with a fake burger. McDonald's would be all over that, saying that's the worst thing ever. McDonald's would never give you fake food. We only give you 100% real beef. That's the old competition. But now none of that happens. Now they're all coming out with their own Impossible Burgers. And it's just another example how they're all on board. Everyone's towing the line. Everyone's
normalizing it.
Normalizing everywhere. And this is where we get, where all these things, like we have now I'm telling you, what you're going to see with the insects, for instance, you're going to see this in your McDonald's probably within 4 or 5 years, maybe sooner, right? Where you're going to have bugs in the menu along with everything else. I mean, it won't be long before there will be no beef whatsoever in your meals, and people will accept it because people will be conditioned into it.
Well, and we've already had the big argument in the news and everywhere about what is milk, what is meat, so they're writing out what that technically can be, and will people even remember that when these things are out there, that was even a conversation?
No, because they'll rewrite history as well, and they'll erase much of what has been revealed. I mean, it's just...
And cricket protein won't be on the label as cricket protein. It'll be like Cricketto or some name, that they'll just, who's going to actually go look that up?
Yeah, that's it. They have just weaved it into everything. Here, CBC, The National, this is from 2013. So like the future food eating insects, and they're showing Times Square here. And this is what we're going to do. And we're seeing it now. So like now, back then, this might have been shocking. Again, as you see here, comments turned off. But this is now not like where the future food eating insects. And then you bring up this video, which I just showed here. I don't think you were here for this.
No.
But this is CBC Kids. And this is from like 3-4 days ago. And it's teaching kids to eat ants.
They're probably all ready for it.
Yeah, well, the kids, because
they're going to save the world.
Yeah, that's it. They're going to think we're going to save the world. Everybody else is destroying the world. Here, eating insects. Check out all these stories here, just dealing with this. The Mighty Cricket Challenge aims to get you comfortable with eating insects. St. Louis Public Radio. New York Times. How to develop an appetite for insects. This is just from a couple weeks ago. Right? Actually, yeah. And then they talk about a conference in 2018, Eating Insects Athens. But this is from September 26, 2019. Will insects become an integral part of our diet again, like suggesting, I used to eat bugs all the time. Here's Mexico Daily News. The Art of Eating Insects exhibition is to open in Mexico City. This is from October the 4th. Here's New York Times again. And that's the same day? No, it's a lesson of the day, how to develop an appetite for insects. New York Times. Daily Mail, how humans could survive on Mars by, of course, eating insects. This is just from a couple weeks ago. Saskatoon Star Phoenix, which Star Phoenix, it's post media, of course. Tribe, small hats. Gardening, what's eating your aphids? Pretty soon you'll be eating your aphids.
Wasn't it that Fear Factor show? Didn't they have people eat bugs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
I was just gonna say
Joe Rogan. Eat it. You're gonna eat that? You're gonna eat that? Eat it.
Gosh.
Yeah, and they would eat donkey semen and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, but that's all part of it, right? Taking the shock, because when people, when it's that's the whole thing about predictive programming. Your mind has already entertained the idea, even though you may not have consciously entertained the idea. Your mind has.
Yeah.
So, like 9/11, for instance, if you have seen those towers falling down over and over again before they actually fall down, you've already accepted that as a possibility. And then when it happens, although you're shocked, you're far more ready to accept it and not question what has happened, right? And then, fall in line and do exactly what you're supposed to do. Well, this is exactly what's been happening with this. They've just been planting these seeds for so long that we were going to eat bugs, that people now are, and they'll make it trendy, and they'll have celebrities like they're already doing, celebrities, eating bug sandwiches and eating, and then they're opening trendy restaurants in San Francisco and New York City and places like that where they're serving bugs on the menu, and pretty soon they'll just be full bug restaurants going there. And again, it's not what you think it is too. It's because people will think, well, it's just bugs, but they're natural and all that. No, they're farmed bugs. And as Camille points out, what are they feeding these bugs, and what are they doing to these bugs? And
if it's actually just bug protein, what kind of creature created that? Because if it's just the molecules of it, they don't have to say what kind of production was involved. I'm looking at these bottom links you have there. This trick might actually get Americans.
Yeah, look at that.
What is that? And the toys for teaching children.
Yeah, it's free. Gosh, this is crazy. This is why I wanted to discuss this, because it's like to show you how. What could be more unappealing, more unappetizing than showing these grubs? It's just like that's the last thing on earth. Isn't that interesting? Have you ever seen the movie Lost Boys?
Yeah.
You remember the scene? How's
with
your
the
maggots?
Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that, you wonder, and that's Tribe as well. You wonder if.
Yeah, but this is the modern farmer there, Jeff. Just get with the times. It's time to eat bugs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The quest to get Americans to eat bugs is not in any kind of broad, systematic way caught on. The arguments for entomophagy. Am I pronounced? Do you know how that's pronounced? Entomophagy?
Sure.
Is that correct?
Hang on, I have to get my screen bigger. It's so tiny.
Yeah, I'll make it bigger here. There we go. Entomophagy or phagy. Entomophagy.
Sure.
That's a technical term for eating bugs. Are pretty clear, but in countries where it isn't popular, it's been an uphill battle. And it's like, look at it. It's a battle. We're not making this up. It's a battle. They're trying desperately to get you to eat bugs. Like, they are working overtime to convince you to eat bugs. They want you to eat bugs. You will be eating bugs if you continue to eat their McMeals, if you continue to eat their system, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Bugs will, and it's wrong to think of it as bugs, because it could just be a petri dish of whatever, as Camille is explaining. What is it really? Because it's a molecular, right? It's like, what are they? What are they?
It's just a big fermentation tank, free floating cells. They said it's easier, people.
And then they could just slap on, well, it's based on crickets.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah,
people are like, I like crickets. Oh yeah, crickets. They sing. They're like a choir or a chorus.
They're an orchestra.
Yeah, orchestra.
Yeah.
It's like,
I thought it said here that they were, it's lab grown insect meat fed on plants, because of the cultures, they're now plant based. The serums.
Genetically modified petri dish plants.
For nutrition and flavor.
That's just nuts. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But what if there is a way to make use of many benefits of insects foods without having to convince Americans to buy cricket flour? The New York Times recently they seem to be like, this is a big deal for the New York Times. The New York Times recently rounded up insects as food companies that are taking the new approach. Instead of trying to sell cricket cookies or protein shakes, what if we used insects to simply replace other segments of the agribusiness cycle that has issues?
Yeah, and they've been training these children to want to eat bugs for so long, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually the brains of all the older people will be so Swiss cheesy that they won't even remember. Wait, we've always eaten
Yeah.
bugs,
I
right?
guess we've always been eating bugs.
Yeah.
Well, they'll convince you too, because they'll say, "Well, did you know that they use bugs and carnauba wax and stuff like that, where they use beetles to like color candies and stuff like that? You know what I'm talking about, or the wax to make them
Yeah.
shiny. They put the beetle wax on the apples to make them shiny, so that when you go to the grocer, you get them. And you'd be
Yes,
like, "You've been eating bugs all this time. You just didn't know it."
Yeah, what's your problem?
Yeah, what's your problem? You're a bug phobic. You're a bug phobic.
Your species is.
Yeah,
You are.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Looking better call the tranny mobile. It's so
Seriously.
nuts, man. These companies have a similar tactics and motivations as the cricket cookie makers, but with different market in mind. They want to feed bugs to livestock.
But you can feed your chickens bugs like that. They say you can take a bucket and make a little tripod and drill holes in the bottom and put a piece of old meat that you were going to throw away anyway in there. And the flies will come and little maggots will drop out and your chickens will be happy and eat them.
Yeah.
I saw that in a video once.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They say much of
Or
the
you could
world's
just go buy these bugs.
Yeah, much of the world's farmland. I like the way that when I highlight it for this particular website, it's all green. It's like they put that in purpose, sort of thing. Much of the world's farmland, about a third, is dedicated to crops grown for livestock feed. Is especially stark. Here's the doom and gloom, and we're destroying the planet. And the vast majority of corn or soy are used for either livestock feed or, in some cases, corn, especially biofuel. The allocation of resources isn't great. These crops require a great deal of land, yada, yada, yada. And then they say essentially the entomophagy proponents have been saying, look, the livestock system is just tremendously inefficient in terms of resources per nutrient and environmentally problematic to boot. Insects are nutrient dense, have minimal requirements. Much of the insect as food industry is indoors, in labs where we can't see it, and can even feed on organic waste.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It's a circle economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's one of the new farms that got this Protix agri-protein and environmental flight. You wonder what symbols these corporations might have here. Here's Protix here, and they've got the Fibonacci sort of snail thing here. And they got a fish jumping out of the water pretty soon. It's going to be some mutated fish with like 5 eyeballs.
If eyeballs become something people want to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would be like, yeah, it's the healthy fish. Food in balance with nature. So the whole green programming with this website here. And yeah, Ray here, and they got the chickens, and it looks like the chickens are eating the maggots or whatever. And I got the friendly fish. I guess so. Here you go, fishies. Here's some Soylent Green. And then they got Flightilizer X.
What is their product? Flies? Is that what that?
Well, here they say the leading insect company. At Protix, we believe harnessing the latest technology to produce the ingredient of the future, insects. We are the market leader when it comes to verifiable and scalable insect breeding. To change the food system, we need to deliver a quality product and a reliable output. The black soldier fly is a key player in bringing our vision to life. Their larvae provide us with a unique source of protein for food and feed. With high-tech solutions, artificial intelligence, genetic improvement programs, and robotics, Protix brings the food system back in balance with nature. Yeah, but you're using these freaking high-tech labs? What does that have to do with nature?
Yeah, you can do that yourself. You can make that yourself. That's what I was saying before. But yeah, buy it from them. Oh, is it pellets, I wonder? So you can't even tell.
Well, they're producing the insects. Like
Yeah.
they're
They
whole thing.
pelletized though, or are they giving you the bug?
They say that we are the market leader when it comes to verifiable and scalable insect breeding. and they have the certain fly-to-lysers, which I imagine is some sort of fertilizer made from fly larvae, as they mentioned before. This Orea here. And then they got these ones here. I just clicked on this. I was trying to get on to the actual product. Fair Insects Protein X Liquid X. So yeah, this is pretty crazy. And again, the green sort of symbolism, the green programming, the Protix journey, and their mission. Yeah, it's our mission. That's our mission. Their mission since 2009 to bring the food system back in balance with nature. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's just one of the companies that they provided. Here's another one, Agri-Protein here. I want to look at the EnviroFlight one too because of the name. Here's Agri-Protein here. And the world urgently needs new sustainable, of course, that's the catchword of the New World Order, sources for protein, a growing population, scarce water, and land resources and declining natural fish stocks make this more critical than ever. So we are a sustainable natural protein business. We produce high protein feed ingredient for farmed animals, fish, and pets. We recycle waste nutrients. We produce right at the point of use. 8 years of science and technology, and yada yada yada. And they got the whole Agenda 21 sort of symbolism here, with that, with more sustainable feed. Let's take a look at the other one there. Which was EnviroFlight, which is American here. Here, EnviroFlight. The power of the fly solving a big. Well, switch screens here. You got the green, tiny insect, huge advantage, and they're showing dogs and geckos and stuff, right, to make you buy into. Again, cute little pigs. Oh, who doesn't love a cute little piglet, right? The power of the fly solving a big problem with a small insect. From 2 wings to 4 legs, we keep them well fed. Nutritious, sustainable, and consistent quality. And then they got these cube symbolism here. Upcycle, reclaim nutrients from food waste, protein-rich ingredients, the nutrition, made in the USA. Quality, implemented best practices for all ingredients, efficient 1 to 2 million pounds protein produced per acre per year. And then bugs feed the world here. They got a video on YouTube.
I'm not sure, but I thought that I saw they were using soldier flies for wastewater treatment. So, and then your animals are going to eat. I guess they would eat that, or maybe they'd. Doesn't that just seem like a real problem?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, all of this is
think of the
just
pharmaceuticals and everything that's in our waste. We're so sick. Wow, this whole circle, everything though, and they've got their little circles too.
Yeah,
exactly. I remember seeing all the circle economy things. Like they want everything to be able to be broken down and reintroduced.
Oh yeah.
So it's just perfect with it.
It's really okay to be an idiot. You know, we'll do the thinking for you. Here, we're going to give you some nice drawings and some childish sort of. I mean, this is YouTube 101. Yeah. We're gonna go. We're doing sustainable here. And then they've got these numbers: 1 million to 2 million per acre. Black soldier fly larvae meal. Yeah, come on, Camille. How did you like your black soldier fly larvae meal?
Well, as long as it's mixed in with my curry seasoning, so I don't notice it. I guess that'll be great.
It's unbelievable. Wow. But this, I mean, obviously this is what they're feeding the animals, right?
Yeah. And then we're eating them.
Yeah. Exactly. You are what you eat.
Yep. Yeah, that they said they're a nutrition powerhouse or whatever. It's like, yeah, maybe the real thing out in the real world, maybe the original studies of how healthy they would be to eat, that, but not this life of whatever they're feeding them. Although
it's all and it's all a gimmick. It's all like they know exactly how to sell it, sort of thing. So it's produced to make you, it all corresponds. I mean, the people that would typically read this stuff or that might read this stuff would be the same people that read New York Times on a daily basis, right? That would be completely under the mind control of the NWO and would be like, oh, it's at least they're doing something. And it's interesting here. They got this hot licks. In a way, this setup is creating a middleman. The beef and the farmed salmon industries would not be replaced by insects, as been envisioned by companies like Hot Licks. But the efficiency of insect rearing could have a great deal of potential as feed addition, and the consumers wouldn't have to eat a cricket. So you just eat the animals that eat their manufactured sort of mutated animals cell or their insects or whatever they're doing to their insects, or their petri dish sort of insect based produce here. It's just wow. Immigrants feed America. Look at this, how it all ties in, the daily greens.
Lots of feel good stuff here.
Yeah, that's basically how they do it. Things we love. And what, hang on here. What is this? I want to see what this is. It's some kind of jerky. Look at this. Doesn't that look appealing?
Kelp. They've been playing with seaweeds and things.
That looks nasty. That reminds me. This video, did you see it before?
No.
Okay, I'm going to play it for you now again here while I take a little break. It's only a minute long. And I played it for the audience before. It's so funny, though. I think it sums it up very succinctly here.
Okay.
So here we go.
Uh-oh, I can't hear it. Yoo-hoo. I don't know. Can anybody else hear it? It's probably because I was talking about hearing myself. And so he took off the stereo. Oh, that's gross. Is that a finger and an eyeball? I can only imagine what it's saying. Ugh. Can you guys hear that? I can't. Well, I can hear it very far off in the distance. Sorry for my chatter. I can only imagine what the words are here. Yeah, it's just nasty. And is that, wait, the little hand making the circle, isn't that one of those hand signs? Isn't that one of those things? Jeff, I can't hear it.
You didn't hear it?
No, did you turn off your stereo, right? Or
I'll
you put your headphones?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Sorry.
Oh,
we gotta look at that again.
Okay, hang on. I gotta switch this around again.
Okay.
All right.
Eyeballs and fingers. And isn't he doing one of those little hand sign things? Little circle.
Hang on, I gotta put this on. It's just genius. It's so funny. Here we go.
So what do you have for lunch today, Clint? Hey, Nort. I've got a hot dog. It's just a beef hot dog. And then I got some green tea. Wow, Clint, I would have thought your parents cared more about the environment. What do you mean, Nort? Well, just check this out, Clint. I've got what looks like a hamburger, but it ain't just a hamburger. This is made entirely from soy products, and then a little bit of my dead grandfather, and then also a bunch of bugs. Oh, hey, that's pretty cool, Nort. Oh, this is nothing, Clint. To drink, I have water that we got out of the toilet. We got one of those new Bill Gates toilets that everybody does a poo in it, and then it takes the water out, and you drink the water. Really, really good for the environment. I wish my bitch mother and my dick dad cared about the environment like your parents do, Nort.
Oh, my word.
Oh, it sums it up, though, eh?
Oh, yeah. Whoa, there I am.
Yeah, hang on. I got to switch it back now. Still in the 21st century here. Oh. I got to put that in there. All right. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, cool. All right, yeah.
I
don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is, eh? It's but that's exactly what they're doing to people. I mean, they are turning people into retards. And they're conditioning the youth into this mentality that you're going to eat poop, you're going to drink poop, you're going to eat your relatives, basically. Right?
Yeah.
It's not.
I know there's a big push to get the plant-based into those cafeterias there. Look at the hand sign, right? Isn't that one of those things, the little circle? Is that weird? I don't know all this, but I swear I've heard of that one. Anyway.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy. So
but
yeah, just another example of what they're doing. So I mean, I thought I saw the jerky and I was like, yeah, that's what it reminded. What are you eating? I mean, what is that? What the hell is that? Imagine, like, this is gonna be a kid's lunch in like 2 years from now, or if it isn't already. It's like, what is that? I mean, it looks like the furthest thing from food. It looks like it's like some alien tree bark or something, you know. It's like, I don't know.
they say it's like beef jerky. How do they do that?
If you told me there was a jerky snack made out of kelp, yes, like beef jerky, sure, I'd believe you. But if you told me it was actually tasty and hearty, well, I'd raise an eyebrow.
Especially that purplish blue one with the seeds.
Yeah.
That's gonna be just like beef.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's just nuts. It's nuts. Again, we talked about that a couple weeks ago when we did the show. We were like, like the way I see it is like, if you become a vegetarian, you just don't have burgers. I mean, like, there's so many different things that you could eat. Why do you have to have burgers?
Because they want to convert us. That's to get. It's not so much for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's they want you to embrace that it's much more about, oh, it's okay, you could still have that type of food. It's just we're going to make it a different way, and it'll be just as tasty. Trust us, and even more nutritious. And guess what, Camille?
High in protein.
No. You got it wrong. Sustainable. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just over and over, every day, everywhere you look, you're going to get these things. This is just one element to it, which is the bug element. I mean, it's just one sort of piece of the big rainbow pie of Agenda 2030 sort of thing. Look at this. Like potato chips, he feeds his family ants, crickets.
That's China.
South China Morning Post. There. Like potato chips, he feeds his family ants, crickets, and cockroaches, and wants you to consider them as meat substitutes too. And they've got what it looks like here, like teddy bear shapes.
Oh boy.
He's a biologist from Costa Rica. And this is what they're feeding their family.
Of course, this could be the Brothers Grimm sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like, what's really in your fridge?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. No, don't go in there. Don't go in there.
No. Look at my maggots.
Yeah. I eat maggots for breakfast every morning, okay? And look, United Nations.
Yeah.
So here, the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization has counted more than almost 1,900 insect species as edible. This will grow. I mean, right? But here we're going to go to serving insects for your dinner, New York style. Yeah, she looks like she's really enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
She'll probably spit it out right after, right? A diner tries a bite of a large water bug during a 10-course dinner of dishes featuring edible insect created by, and they don't give you the rest. I guess you got to click here. Brooklyn Bugs and Gastronauts.
They make up all kinds of words.
Yeah, maybe the bugs will give you gas.
Yeah.
I mean, what else will they give you?
Mess with your digestion.
Here's Chef Joseph Yoon. Works to make appetizing and visually appealing dishes with various insects. I don't know. I mean, there's only so much you could do.
Yeah.
The bug's a bug. It's only so much you could do to dress it up. Look at this guy. He's like, I'm going to have to eat more of this.
No, remember, they can be engineered for flavor. Maybe they can grow the real bugs that way.
Maybe they'll bring out the cotton candy flavor.
Yeah.
Keepstar cotton candy flavored cockroaches.
I saw organic cotton candy grapes this year, and I'm like, organic, really?
What?
That just sounds, yeah.
What?
That's a co.
Why would you want grapes that taste like cotton candy anyways?
I don't know.
Why? Grapes are like one of the best tasting fruits out there. I mean, why would you want a grape to taste anything, other than a grape? It's retarded.
I don't know.
Well, we know why, right? Because like in many ways, another thing that I think maybe in a future podcast that we should do, I'd really like to do, is the sweetening and of all the foods, like how they have the salting and sweetening of all their foods, like to the nth degree. Like things are way too sweet. I'm really sensitive to like sweets, like in terms of, especially when it comes to like beverages and stuff like that. Like I never drink sweet beverages or anything like that, because I just feel like an insulin rush. It's like it's not natural to have something so sweet in you. And the way that
you can't handle stevia and things like that, probably. Right?
What is that?
Stevia, the plant sweetener. Well, was plant-based. I know Cargill's brewing up a kind ever sweet, but stevia, it's a plant,
I've heard of that.
And it's like a super crazy sweet. I used to work volunteering at the co-op and bagging it up for the bulk department, and if the littlest puff got in the air, oh my gosh, it's like coats your nose and your mouth. It's so crazy sweet. And that they say that MI proteins, that 100% synthetic fruit-based sweetener, that's crazy sweet too, like 10,000 times as sweet as sugar. I don't remember. I'll prep my brain back in all the sugar stuff I looked at when you want to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a really important topic, because this is why.
You got to change the image though. There's that creepy clown or whatever that is.
What's going on?
That thing in the bottom of the screen is awful.
Oh yeah, I wanted to just talk about this for a second, because look at how this all ties together. You've got the cockroaches in the saucepan, and then you've got the wildfires sweeping through California. And then you've got the turtles who are endangered. And then you've got the clown world coming together with the Extinction Rebellion protest around the world. The clown world. They talk about blackface all the time. It's funny how they don't mention whiteface all the time.
Yeah.
Because the whiteface is the clowns. Right?
I don't like it. I see billboards all over my city when I'm out driving around, and they're for Halloween time, and they're just these creepy clowns. I'm like, how can they let that be up on billboards? I don't even like seeing that, let alone children driving it. Just these creepy things with like fangs.
Yeah, it's a clown world. They are creating this clown world. They're inverting everything. This is all part. It's all a big small hat thing. It's all part of their religion, right? To create the whole clown, to invert everything, turn everything inside out, upside down. So we're witnessing that happen all around us. So the clown sightings were just a precursor. You remember the clown sightings from?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been going on for a good decade, or further back even. This is all part of their machinations. It's really astonishing. I have a big video coming in on that. I have a lot to say about it, but
I can't promise I'll watch. I'll listen.
You're scared of clowns?
No, I'm not scared of them. My brother showed me it when I was young, and I don't know, that must have traumatized me in some way. It is horrible, but they're so freaky looking. I don't like those clowns. I can handle like the ones that go to cheer up old people and stuff. But
yeah, there's a lot to the clown thing. It's I'll show this all. I'm not going to get into it now, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. But here, the pod living. I brought this up before because of
Tide Pods. No,
but actually, that all ties together. The Tide Pods, like they purposely create these things to help proliferate different memes, and in many ways, the Tide Pods, for the way that I interpret the Tide Pods, is a divide between the youth and their parents and the older generations, because the younger generations are constantly being told that their parents are the trouble of everything, or the previous generations have screwed up the planet, and that you're the solution, right? You know that. You mentioned that before.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's not enough to get the kids to hate the parents and all the older generations. You have to get the older generations to hate the kids. So one of the whole things is to depict the kids as so mindless that they would eat Tide Pods, so that the older people, the older generations look and they say, these kids are so dumb. They're the Tide Pod generation.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see these things, the way that they roll out. But maybe the pod living has something to do with it as well, because it's all reinforcing pods as an existence. It's interesting because I mentioned, your podcast that you did with, what's his name there? Clint. And he was talking about the pod people.
Yeah.
From I mentioned that before, the whatchamacallit, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because they use plants.
Never seen it.
Yeah, you want to watch the 78 version, which is the one which involves these alien sort of organic species that float in space, and then they come and they create these flowers on Earth, and then people take the flowers, and next thing you know, they fall asleep, and the plant hooks up, attaches itself to the human, and then it sucks the life force out of the human and creates a clone of the human. And the clone,
plant-based.
Yeah, the plant-based clone, the plant-based human kills off or sucks all the life force out of the other human, and then they become a mindless servant of the hive mind. They become completely pacified, and they just do everything that they're supposed to do. They comply, basically. And I thought that was interesting, because I think that's in many ways what they're doing to humanity, although maybe not at this point. We're not, but there's a lot of films that mirror that sort of concept. Another one that was recent was Jordan Peele, who's a Major League Insider and recently won the Academy Award for Best Director, which I accurately predicted for for his Get Out movies. But he had a film called Us, which featured clones, and the clones are being bred underground, and what happens is the clones get out and basically kill their copy, or their real sort of human form, and they take over, and then they just become a mindless sort of hive mind. So they show the Hands Across America, which is something from the 80s, where they were it was more like a symbolic thing, but it was like they would show on television specials where it was like the idea that you would get people from the coast of, say, New York or something, all the way to California, holding hands in solidarity for, whatever sort of New World Order sort of objective, right? But they actually do that in the film. The clones kill off all their human sort of counterparts, and they hold hands across America. It's so crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I think in many ways they're showing how they're mind controlling the masses. And in many ways, they won't really need to create clones of us to replace us, because the new generations will be so mind controlled, and within no time the brain chips will be there from day one, sort of thing, right? So the whole hive mind theme is so ubiquitous, and it's there for a reason, because that's exactly what they want to do. They want to take control of all of humanity, control us all forevermore, sort of thing. So living in pods, just this mentality is it's the antithesis of freedom, really. It's communism. It's everybody living the same.
Yeah, you don't have many belongings in that world.
No,
you couldn't have possibly.
It's a commune. It's everybody lives the same. And Japan has been one of the places where they've really done this more. I mean, you definitely could argue that the pod people in Japan, it's more of an economical thing, but Japan is a huge breeding ground for the New World Order, and they've tried out so many of the things that now they're using. That's why the Japanese culture, which, I mean, the hentai and the tentacle porn and all the crap that comes out of Japan, there's a lot of good things come out of Japan, so don't take offense if you're Japanese, but a lot of the nasty stuff, the Notice Me Senpai, all the games and all that are all heavily New World Order programming to deconstruct the family, and they've been so successful in Japan that they have the fastest shrinking population in the world. In fact, their population is shrinking so dramatically that it's a catastrophic, and the only way that they can sustain themselves, because they're not bringing in immigrants, is by using robots, basically. So the robots are going to take over public service, and it's already happening in a large way. So one of the ways that they're doing it in Japan is that a lot of people eat from the whatchamacallit, what do you call the vending machines, right? So they're huge complexes of vending machines. They use a butt feed shill called Sophia Nygaard to show off all this stuff and make it look cool and exotic and sexy, when it's like people are eating synthetic meals that are coming from these machines, basically, right? Like, this is actually happening because there's no youth to replace the elder populations. Over 40% of men between the ages of like 20 and 40 or 50 will never get married. Like, they have no desire, and they'd rather have sex with a doll and stuff like that. It's massive. It's just crazy. That's a whole nother kettle of fish sort of thing.
Japan was really big in that biology of doom, the biowarfare stuff too. They were
this with the tiny homes and everything else is all part of Agenda 21. Casita homes, where they're taking sewer pipes. This is a perfect example here. So Hong Kong solutions, they say solutions, of course, sustainable solutions, where the people are living in sewer pipes. Isn't that crazy? It's it's nuts. It's so nuts. And the whole trend for the Discovery and all the Disney media is tiny homes and stuff like that, right? Tiny homes.
Someone I love dearly in their 20s was just telling me the other day about, we're thinking we want to do a tiny home. And I was like, oh, that's your mind control showing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, live in a box.
Yep.
But that's what they want. Live in a box, don't have kids, have a cat, or a dog, a little mini dog.
And be on wheels, so you don't have a garden. You're going to roll that puppy all over the place.
The casita homes, which I've covered many times in the past, which are the movable freight containers.
Oh, there you go. I want to be stacked in Singapore.
Yeah. So this is nuts, because they're saying this is the future, where, guess what? Less is more. And I agree with that in some ways, but, living in a shipping freight is not the way I would ever want to live. But they're conditioning people into, you can have your little shipping freight, and since it's a global economy and chances are you're going to move around, you can take your little shipping container with you.
What if you're on the bottom?
Well, that's it.
Can they just pull you out?
Yeah, I guess.
Stick somebody else in.
These are popping up everywhere. This is the future. This is just one example. Casita homes, sewer homes, right? The sewer pipe homes that they're doing. I should put pipe, because then they're just going to show people living in sewers. But yeah, these are just examples of how they're changing humanity, and they're saying, wow, and they make it look like, wow, it's kind of neat, and be like, yeah, I could probably spend 10 minutes in there, and then I go bonkers.
You got your computer, what else do you need?
You got your mind control.
Yeah,
you got a lamp, you got hey guys, I got a plant up there. Isn't
there a picture of these things like stacked under bridges and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is what they're doing. They're it's nuts. We've talked about this going back here. This is a great example here.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is the worst here too. It's like under. Yeah, we're making use of space. Greta says it's good for us.
Well, and maybe it's helping with the structural integrity of our aging road systems. They can help support it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll help. When these things start to collapse, it'll fall on your little pod.
Population control.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh well, this Jerry, his pod collapsed. But that's interesting, because that all fits into the pod people. which, yeah, this is Invasions of the Body Snatchers, the pod people, which it's so interesting because, yeah, it involves plants. It's the idea of plants creating, you know, synthetic human beings. So in many ways, what's happening to the bulk of humanity is we're being turned into bees, basically. Worker bees. We're just going to have basic functions, and we're just going to be so dumbed down that we're just going to be content to have our cartoon sort of world existence. The suspended childhood that they've programmed into several generations now, where people don't grow up, basically, and they collect comic books and toys. YouTube 101, basically. Almost all your popular YouTubers have toys, right? And they display them all the time. This is all part of what they're doing to humanity. So, like, yeah, the Tide Pod. It's interesting. I should put that in. Tide Pod. Just say Tide Pod generation. See? The Tide Pod generation. Right? So this is, I believe this is how it all works. It's just divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. So making the older generations think that the younger generations are completely idiotic and beyond.
If they're eating Tide Pods.
Yeah, I know. You've got to be nuts, right? You got to be nuts. You got to be. I mean, you got to be out of your skull. But people will do. I mean, people will. You know. I mean, people will do what their programming tells them to do. And this is interesting here. Tide Pod challenge: blaming stupid millennials is easy. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is all happening. And here's the article that I didn't get to before here with the New York Times here, which just came out for a few days ago here. The lesson of the day: how to develop an appetite for insects. It's like, well, why do you, I mean, like, okay, how to develop an appetite for Tide Pods. Right? I mean, it's okay, maybe I'll eat the insects before I eat the Tide Pods. In fact, I'll eat neither, but I mean, I guess one of them will kill you for sure. But yeah, here they are. Culinary student preparing mealworm quiches at the Regin Isgel Chef School in the Netherlands. Of course, so a lot of these corporations are in the Netherlands, it seems. But yeah, they have this huge article here dealing with this. And here they go. Scientists who study bugs are thinking harder about how to turn them into good food. In this, of course, right? Cotton candy flavored cockroaches? Maybe you should patent that.
Oh, man.
You might have a winner there.
They're putting this out there. There's so many things that they can grow and make. Like they could, like we said before, the panda meat and the dinosaur meat and everything. It's just to be so crazy. Just, oh my gosh, I can't even get over people.
Yeah, it's an ongoing Black Mirror episode that we live in here. So the warm up here: if insects were to show up in your next school lunch, how would you feel? Sick. Fortunately, I'm not in school, but I mean, seriously? I mean, who is this article for? Think about it. It's like, what? This is the New York Times? So what? Are school kids reading this? Look at the way it's set up. It's like, well, your school lunch. You know, like what?
Well, if they need to bump the protein up in their little prepared meals for schools to meet wasn't there vegetable sort of thing? Michelle Obama did. Yeah, so they can sprinkle some in.
Yeah, no child left behind.
Yep.
Everyone gets bugs.
Yep.
In a change in the menu, a winning entry. You know, winning entries from our student editorial contest. So I imagine a winning entry in a student editorial contest would kind of like be a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, good story, right?
Yeah, where it's like you make the story and it gets printed on the first issue, and then it gets the front sort of, you know, section in the bookshelves. It says New York Times bestseller. So I imagine that's exactly the same type of thing. Grace Silva urges Westerners to reconsider. I mean, like, why would a kid write this? It's like, what? It's like, Well, yeah, she just kind of came up with this idea. She
Oh, well, no,
urges,
she says it right there. Starts out with the UN,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
FAO.
So she urges Westerners to reconsider their aversion to bugs. Her essay begins, according to my mind control, according to the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, an estimated 2 billion people eat bugs as part of it. Well, good for them. Go out and enjoy it. Standard diet. That's nearly a quarter of the global population. And yet most countries in Europe and North America, despite nutritional and environmental benefits, are fiercely reluctant to the idea of consuming bugs. And she concludes, the Western consensus is best stated by the
New York Times.
Oh my God, you're giving it's just unbelievable. So the person that wins the award for their, the best New York Times sort of editorial contest quotes the New York Times. Yeah. So
good.
she's quoting New York Times writer here, Ligaya Mishan, probably small hat. Europeans and by extension European settlers in North America never had a bug eating tradition. Well, civilization, I don't know. You're living in a northern climate too. I mean, you got animals, you got livestock, you got food, you got grains, you got gardens and all that. No, we got to eat bugs.
Yeah, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's only got us here. Never had a bug eating tradition. Indeed, we largely consider insects dirty, not really, and drawn to decay, signifiers and carriers of disease. Okay. We call them pest, a word whose Latin root means plague. I don't feel that way about insects at all. I love insects. In fact, I am endlessly fascinated with insects. I'm not like a Janus. I don't go around but I will not kill an insect if I can avoid it. Like in the house, yeah,
I take spiders to the door if I can.
That's nice. I like spiders too. I mean, like they're doing a job. They're killing the other insects. They're eating them, so they're keeping your home. It's kind of like having a cat, right?
Oh yeah.
You have some spiders running around, so like I let spiders go a lot.
And I have a light at my back door. It's like instant Halloween decorations. The spider show every year. It's really cool. Freak people out when they come to the door at night. That's for sure. Look up.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean I don't have any. I don't know why they would assume. Of course, they want you to assume that because, of course, that's your mind control. Your mind control is saying bugs bad, bugs scary, bugs.
Yeah, they're telling you. Everybody else says they're yucky.
Yeah, it's like no. Yeah. Why? Why would you say that? I look at bugs as being the most essential part of the whole ecosystem. Like that, they are the ultimate gardeners, right? That without them, nothing would function. The whole flower sort of ecosystem is so dependent upon the pollinization and all that. Like just everything is equilibrium. It's a wonderful, beautiful system. So I like bugs. I don't like the bugs that bite you and the nasty ones, but that's part of it, right? It's all creatures great and small.
They release out of the trucks in areas, those mosquitoes,
Yeah, well, those,
put them out there.
Yeah,
they're crazy.
Yeah, that's something else. I don't like mosquitoes, period. But again, I mean that's just part of the whole thing. But nonetheless, I mean to think that everyone hates bugs. Why? What do you hate bugs for? In fact, butterflies are probably the most beautiful thing out there, right?
Oh yeah, and moths, those Luna moths. Oh my gosh.
Or dragonflies. I freaking love them. I love them.
Dragonflies are really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think insects are amazing. I just don't want them, I don't want ants living in my home because that's trouble, right? But
yeah, and I tried that. I was like, I don't want to kill the ants that are coming into the house. Don't go away camping.
Oh, forget about it.
Because you come home and they've moved the nest under the kitchen towel next to the sink. And then you have to throw that out the back door. I've been there. That was horrible.
Like I had one day early this summer. It might have been in the spring, but it was like late spring or early summer. And it was like next to my kitchen window, there somehow there's a little hole like in the masonry there. And all of a sudden, one morning got up and there's ants everywhere in my kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? And they're like the little pharaoh ants too. They're the ones that are really nasty. So I looked outside and I saw, oh my God, they set up a little nest there, and they just come through the screen, right? Because they're so small. And so I killed them all off, and that was it. It was done in a day. But like, the ants are a serious problem. Like, you cannot have ants living in your home. It's not going to work. They'll
And
just
I
make
don't like
colony.
spiders and bugs where I'm sleeping. I
Yeah,
will
that too.
squish them then.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta
I'm
have.
not going to go all the
No,
way.
you,
Yeah.
you know, that's it. But that's it. I mean, they just want you to think, oh, everybody hates bugs. No, that's not true. That's bullshit. So yeah, here Europeans and by extension European settlers in North America never had a bug eating tradition. Indeed, we largely considered insects dirty and drawn to decay and signifiers of carriers of disease. We call them pests. Not really. I call them insects. A word whose Latin root means plague. This is a ridiculous stigma. It's a stigma. It's so dumb. It's a ridiculous stigma that we need to shake. The adoption of bugs into a normal diet would not be unlike transition from raw fish being largely accepted in America to sushi becoming a normal, or raw fish being largely unaccepted, pardon me, in America to sushi becoming a normal meal option. It's interesting. They bring up the Japanese.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting that they sushi. And sushi, you wonder too if maybe sushi was a gateway for this. That because like, why did sushi take off? I mean, like, I like sushi, but for me it's like appetizer. I mean, it's not a meal. I've never had a sushi meal where it was like, yeah, okay, that's enough, you know. It's always like, okay, bring on the real meal, you know. That's just the way I feel about sushi. I like it, but it's like it never fills me up enough. But then again, you know, you wonder why things become super viral and super popular. Well, usually because they want that to be that way. So sushi has really taken off over the past couple decades, especially here in Montreal, Toronto, New York, places like that. They're really huge sushi. And it's very expensive too. And again, I say I like it, but you know, is there an ulterior motive to it? And it's like, well, what if you wanted to condition people to change their eating habits? So, Cabell, let me just put this forward. What if you say 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you're saying, okay, we're going to radically change everyone's diet. How are we going to accomplish this? Well, we have to change the way they think about food. So how can we start? Well, how about this? You know, how about we change the way that start with something like fish, and we change the way that people view fish, where it's like, you know, in our culture, it's tradition to cook fish and fry it and, you know, right? What if we introduce sushi and we help condition people into seeing fish completely differently, right? And it's just another way, a step, perhaps, that would lead to people accepting all different types of fish, right? Well, genetically modified, right? You know, farm.
And then they sell the oceans as destroyed, you know.
Yes.
All the lakes are bad, so we better bring on in. They've got how handy they've been planning the plant-based and the cellular agriculture replacements.
Exactly.
That Sophie's Kitchen, I think, is the name. Their plant-based, pea protein-based seafood is pretty realistic looking.
Sophie's Kitchen?
I think it's Sophie's Kitchen. I'm pretty sure that's
Sounds
also
familiar.
who has plant-based tuna fish. It's a grocery store near me. Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. Sophie's Kitchen. Yeah, the plant-based movement is growing faster than ever.
But on their website, I don't know if you can go into
I can find that.
But there were a lot of pictures, if it's the one I'm thinking.
It's probably it here. Oh, no, this is like a restaurant.
Sorry, Sophie.
Sophie's Kitchen Vegan Supply. That's it.
Yeah.
Right here.
Maybe. No.
No?
There's another one. They see that's the tuna. The one.
Sophie's Kitchen homepage.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is it. Gourmet
Scroll
plant-based
down.
seafood. Yeah. They show a little girl.
Yeah. Well, it was her dream. I think she had an allergy or something.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the dad, the
I
creator,
love that.
talk once.
The probably small hat.
It's for the children. Well,
yeah. Of course. They're very clever. Yeah, and look at that. What is this? Gourmet plant-based seafood. It's like, what? Is it seafood and trademark? It's like trademark seafood?
It's like air quotes.
And it's like, no, it's not seafood. Well, then why you call it seafood?
Because it is what they say it is.
Yeah, exactly. 100% pure beef.
Yeah, it's a molecular equivalent, probably.
It's nuts. I mean, this is what they're doing. It's like they're appropriating these terms and saying, well, it's whatever we want to say it is.
That's right. It used to be if you scrolled down on the main page, you'd see like their shrimp, and all this stuff. That it's
They got a pickle on top of that. It's like, what? What is that? Oh my God! Guess what? It's the insect meal.
Oh.
Okay, you got to see this now. I got to show you this. Let's see if we can find it. We'll put there we go. We'll put what is it? Snowpiercer.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
what it looks like now.
Insects. And that's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like.
Ugh.
I want to show you the bars. Yeah, these are the gelatin bars. You see them here?
Yep. Sophie made them.
Yeah. This is that's it. Those are the bars. Okay, so where's this? I got so many things open here.
Ew.
I gotta find. There it is. Yeah. It looks exactly the same. Oh my God. They're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it again. They're doing it again. This is unbelievable. Oh, that's nasty. If people have seen this, I'll put this in a Google search here too to bring this up here. I'll just put Snowpiercer food here. Yeah, these are the gelatin bars. Somebody's already selling them. Amazon has them. Are you kidding? Oh my God.
Bean paste.
Oh no. Are you serious? I am not surprised though. This is just like the Soylent Green. It's the exact same thing where they're selling these things already. Pretty much. Look at this. So this was the meal that all the peasants ate, the poor classes, the workers. You see him here holding the gelatin bar. And it looks it looks frighteningly the same. It looks exactly the same. That's just nasty. Like, what is that?
I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's
what is this
plant-based.
white stuff here too? It looks like snot or something.
That's probably just mayo or
that's
not
gross.
cold mayo. Not
Oh man, it's nasty. That is nasty. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. This is just terrible. Look at this. And look at this smoked salmon. It's not salmon. What are you doing? You can't. Oh. And then they have the gall to call it smoked salmon because it's so trendy, right?
Yeah.
Coconut shrimp. And look at it. It looks like, oh my God.
And you see in the news all the time now about like this restaurant is switching over to plant-based version, like Beyond Burger is going to replace all this and this salad company, like all the add-ons that the restaurants are taking away the animal and putting this smoked salmon.
It's nuts. It is nuts. This is nuts. This is look at this. Look at all the corporations.
Veg news.
Yeah, in the media. You got the Rainbow, CNBC, PETA, Vegan Food Award winner, Green Impact. Next fish. Poor fish. I mean, that is just, oh man, this is nasty. NPR. I mean, it's just nasty. Look at this. Wow, Sophie's Kitchen. It's Sophie's Choice. You know the movies. You got a choice here. Hey, you want the bug bar? You want the fake shrimp? Man, that is wow. It's how deep is this rabbit hole, right? Like,
I remember the first time I saw their tuna or their tuno or whatever they call it at the grocery store. I took it. It was in the health food section of this grocery store around here. And I picked it up and I went and found the worker. I was like, do you know what this is? And they just glazed look,
She's just like, I just work here.
Yeah, sorry.
I work here and I watch television. Leave me alone.
Yep. And it tastes like tuna. I like it. No, I don't know.
Here's the PETA Vegan Food Award winner. I'm going to click on that for a second here. PETA. Dogs are not laboratory equipment. I thought they were. I thought for sure they were. I was using my dog as a Bunsen burner. You telling me? It's just so dumb. Now, I love animals. You know that. You love animals, right? Yeah. I mean, come on. We all love animals. You got to be a psycho not to love animals. But, of course, PETA is part of this New World Order.
they're remaking the animals with all this stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's yes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
PETA's
Look
invested.
at this best vegan ice cream, and it's black.
It's like, oh,
What
is it like
that?
dipped in something? That's
Oh, and
weird.
they got the Avengers behind it. Look at that, the Avengers.
Oh,
Wow. Bio buttery, dairy free. Well, how can it be butter if
I can't believe it's
that's not butter?
Yeah.
Less
Well-
dairy, more life. Well, how does that make sense? What do you mean?
Well,
Like,
the guy
what-
Josh Tetrick from Just, when he was in Hong Kong, that was one of the things he was talking about. He's like, "You Nestle, you Kraft Heinz, we want to make it easier for these big corporations, and so here we have this butter product that looks like it, tastes like it, feels like it, but it's not from cows." But they've licensed their tech. Just has platform made Just. They want it global. Well, and that's been a while now that they've had that. So, yeah. And then how
Yes.
do you know the restaurant you're eating at, isn't so forward thinking, and they're cooking their food and this stuff?
This is just so crazy. It boggles the mind. Here's their Kemp milk. I mean, why call it milk? It's not milk.
Yeah.
It's just out of this world. Sorry, it's not Kemp. It's hemp. Hemp. Oh yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what's Kemp?
Yeah. No.
Hemp makes more sense. What is a Cresho?
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
A matzo ball. Best vegan chocolate bar. Well, it's not chocolate. And then best vegan pie pastry. And this is just nuts.
I saw that cheese up there, and
Look at this. Look at the pizza. That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
pizza. What kind of pizza is that? I got a pizza. I ordered a pizza. It'll look like that. I'd fucking throw it at the guy. I'd be like, get the hell out of here. That's not a pizza. What is that? What do you put on there? What is that?
Butternut
Duncan
squash
Hines
or
icing?
something. I'm gonna say squash.
It's so disgusting.
Oh
It's
no,
just
it's
like
taco. Or...
no, it's
Yeah.
whatever. It's what is it?
Well, does this say it's Domino's?
cricket protein supplement mixed with frankenfish or something. I don't know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's anything but real. Vegan
Yeah,
chicken.
with more flavor.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. It's just nuts. This is
Yes.
just nuts. This is out of this world. What's going on? They have significantly mind controlled humanity into, I don't know, just turning everything into something that it's not. That's the craziest thing too. This is what I say. It's like, okay, make your food, but don't try to imitate something. Why imitate? Why? Well, of course we know why, right?
Yep.
But that's the whole thing. Like, as a consumer, if you're a consumer, why would you want, like, if you're going to eat a burger, eat a burger. Don't eat something that's a mock burger, because, I mean, what are you fooling? It's more healthy. It's better for the environment. Yeah, whatever. Get the hell out of town. Okay, prove it. It's probably much worse for the environment, probably much worse for you. And
This whole thing is a nightmare for the environment. They're remaking the whole world, the environment included.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
Anti-nature, sustainability, because they turn everything into a science experiment. They don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're the guinea pigs, folks. That's the reality. It's like, what are they doing to us? This is the way that we should all be thinking about it. Is like, well, wait a second. What are you doing to all of us? How is this going to impact us? How is this going to impact our children? How is this going to impact our health by and large?
I mean, they're redoing everything. Like clothing is going to be, and already is, sustainable biology, synthetic biology. Sorry, close enough. But
exactly.
clothing and packaging and the food and it's everything. Industrial
Everything.
chemicals. You don't even know. They're making laundry detergent. They have carpeting. It's everywhere,
everything.
and you're participating in that. There's
This is a bug in my salad.
on purpose.
Actually, there's several bugs, and there's some Soylent Green, and I mean, wow, it's just nuts. It's nuts. It's
The mind control is strong with those people. that
Yeah.
go to
Oh,
the
it's happening. It's full on. We are definitely watching this fully unfold, and it's nasty, folks. Look at this: bugs, rodent hair, and poop. How much is legally allowed in your food every day? It's like, yeah, probably be more every day the way that they allow it, but it just keeps going. I mean, this is out of this world where it's going. I mean, again, I'm not saying that eating bugs is horrible, or I'm making fun of people that eat bugs or anything like that. It's just not our culture, right?
and probably if your people have been eating bugs, maybe your body's ready for eating bugs.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
True. Think about it. Like a great example is Native people can't handle alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's a stereotype. No, it's true. They can't, because for 10,000 plus years, most of us are European descent, have had alcohol in our system, or our ancestors have. So we have biologically developed to be able to our livers and our whole chemistry is developed so that we can process alcohol. They can't.
Yeah.
So that's an important thing to point out, is that this is the whole thing about culture. There's a reason why people in certain parts of the world eat bugs. Like in Africa, for instance, there's going to be a lot more places that eat bugs, because bugs there, I mean, you get those Goliath beetles, you get these huge insects, right? That would make much more sense to eat those things, and they're just so much more prevalent. But it's not the same thing here, right? So this is, it's just awful. I got to say, I mean, I'm horrified every day by what they're doing to our foods. It's shocking, and I'm seeing it manifest in local grocers everywhere. All the fast food joints, we're witnessing all this unfold, and it's just out of this world. So anyways, I think I'm gonna close up the show here now, Camille, because it's pretty late. I'm pretty sure you're probably getting pretty tired too, but
Yeah.
it's so awesome to have you on, and I really want to continue doing this series with you, because I think it's very beneficial to people out there to get this information across.
Next time, sweeteners.
Yeah, let's do it next time for sure. And thank you so much, Camille. I mean, can you?
Thank you for
I put
having me.
Everyone that's listening, I put her link to her channel in the description. Please go and sub her channel right now. Don't wait. Go right now. Go sub her channel. Go check out her vids, because she's doing amazing work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time tonight to come and listen to this, and people that listen to this later. Really enjoy doing these shows. I'm going to try to do more live shows, at least maybe one a week if I can. I'm going to do, so we're talking about doing JC and Friends next week. So I'm going to try and schedule it. I want to make sure to get Bug Smasher and Anonymous and other people that we have as regulars, Cookie. Twaddle. Yeah, the whole gang. Want to make sure and get most of these people on. So it's a little,
with the birds.
Yeah, we gotta, so
Great people.
I will I've already talked about this, so I'm gonna try to get this scheduled maybe next. Yeah, Bug. Well, he's a Bug Smasher.
Yep.
So he'd be here. He'd want to smash all these bug plates. So, but yeah, we love doing those shows. So we're gonna try to do that. So for all my patrons that are listening, probably next Friday, we'll see. Camille, we'll talk behind the scenes. Let me know when the best day is for you. We'll try to get a day that we can accommodate the most people, and yeah, we'll do it. So thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to this. Bid you all a wonderful evening. Take care, folks.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, great job, Camille.